It's Christmas time for gamers, and we're going to try and predict what's in store for E3 2019. Welcome to the BitGeek podcast, where we geek out over the things we love in nerd pop culture. Sometimes we like to get nostalgic about things that came out from our past, and other times we like to look to things in the future, like today. I'm your host, Ron Avis, and sitting with me is my co-host, the Prince of Pixels,
Nick Wright.
And it wouldn't be an E3 prediction show unless we had our returning guest, the chairman of the Chinese knockoff,
Martin Reimer.
And here we are, a new intro, boys. It's a new era.
Yeah, so we're in our second year, right?
Yeah, we're in year number...
Well, I mean, I start in our third year, I guess, really. We've had our second...
I guess you're right. Yeah, this is season 3. Like,
yeah.
You know, when I'm saving the files of the podcast, what I'm doing is like, you know, season 1, episode whatever, and then like in the second year, I started putting season 2, episode, you know, like 29 or whatever. I don't think we're that prolific, actually. Probably more like 12. But, you know, we get them out when we can. But, yeah, so this is technically season 3, wave 3, whatever you want to call it.
And you know what? I got something.
Oh.
Something interesting.
To celebrate
Passing it over.
the third year.
Okay. Is this actually for me?
Sure. Why not?
Sure, why not? Okay, cool. I wasn't expecting this at all. Okay.
On-air surprise.
On-air surprise, man. What do we got here? I know there's a lithium battery, whatever it is.
Something to put on the shelf.
Something to put on the shelf. What?
The suspense is killing me.
Holy crap, dude. Seriously? Hang on.
Nice.
Dude.
Look at that.
Centipede. We can't really... Well, I guess you can kind of see it okay. Dude, that is nice.
It's a long story that I won't get into here, but yeah.
Wow. Okay, so is this... So, yeah, you were sending out, like, a text, like, group text, and you had mentioned something about Centipede. It felt kind of out of nowhere, so is that what this was all about?
Yeah.
Dude, that's pretty awesome. Man, thanks, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. That's really awesome. So, yeah, Replicade. This is... I'll have to do an unboxing of this or something. These are really cool. I don't know if you guys have heard of these before, but they're really awesome. I mean, you know, 12 inches tall. You can actually get an action figure to play it. I've seen people who like do their Instagrams. But yeah, it's like the actual arcade game, just miniaturized.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And they've
A lot
got
of detail.
Wow.
They've got, let's see, what ones have they done in the past? Street Fighter?
No, that's the first one.
Oh, Centipede's the first.
And
Tempest.
Tempest is out also. That was the second.
Yeah.
Street Fighter is the next one, I believe.
Champions Edition, right?
Champions Edition.
Yes, and then there have been teases of games like Dragon's Lair.
Dragon's Lair has been announced.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm trying to remember if Asteroids...
Announced, but you can't pre-order it yet.
Yeah. Like, we know Dragon's Lair is coming, but yeah, it's not up for pre-order.
Is it going to have a little laser disc?
Yeah.
That would be cool. Now, there's a company called Limited Run Games that will take games that would never get a physical release, that are just digital only games, and they'll do a limited run physical release of the game. I've seen games like what's the Curse, like the game that came out with Bloodstained Ritual, the crowdsourced game.
Yeah. Curse of the Moon or something. I forget what it was called.
That looks kind of like an 8-bit version of Castlevania, like Dracula. Like, yeah, so they did a physical release of that.
Oh, wow.
There's like The Messenger. I don't know if you guys have seen that game, but
Yeah.
it looks really cool, and you know, I always wanted to play it, never have bought it, but they did a physical release, and it's limited edition, just like the name says, like limited run.
It's on Switch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's on like Switch and PlayStation 4 and everything else.
Yeah, that's a good game.
But there's the Dragon's Lair now. You can actually get Dragon's Lair. And if you Google search like limited run games in Dragon's Lair, they actually have this amazing like special edition, where it looks like a laser disc.
Yeah.
And when you pull the like packaging,
I saw that.
it
Huh.
yeah,
and it plays the
Dragon's Lair like
Yeah.
like you know attract mode
Yeah.
kind of
Nice.
so cool.
Yeah.
But it's like way expensive, like $100 or something.
Mhm.
And if I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna get the Replicate Dragon's Lair because I mean, if you pre-order, they're usually like they knock a good $20-30 off the retail
Yeah.
price.
Yeah.
So yeah, this I'm blown away, man. Thanks, dude. It's really awesome. Yeah, the Centipede's cool. Like the trackball, like this is like pure '80s nostalgia right here.
Yeah, oh man, it's such
Yeah.
classic artwork on the side.
That
of the
Centipede artwork on yeah. And does it actually do? It does. It's got the little buttons.
Yeah.
I was talking about one of my favorite things about old Atari cabinets were the start buttons.
Yeah.
The player 1, player 2,
They light
they're
up.
kind of elevated and have the little red button that lights up on the top.
Yeah, they're like totally different from like the normal like
Yes.
fire button.
Yes, and it's you know, and it's very unique to Atari, and I like I remember like at Chuck E. Cheese, like a lot of the games having that. So that's really cool.
Yeah,
So you
nice.
have one of these? Do you have one of these?
Yeah.
things? Then you have Centipede.
Mhm.
So how long can you play it on a charge?
I don't know. I didn't play that long.
Okay. Do you know if do you just
pretty
leave it
much-
running?
No,
Oh, you just-
I mean, you probably could and leave it plugged in or something,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, like I took it out of the box and I played it just to try it out, and then it just went boop right on the shelf. And I haven't played
That's
it
what these are
since.
mostly about, to be honest. You know, like I've got
I probably didn't even play it 5 minutes, and
This
then it
is
went
like-
straight on a shelf.
you know, these are like the Kmart version of what these are to be, you know.
Yeah.
Poor man.
So it's the poor man version, and they're still neat.
Well,
Yeah.
open it up. I mean, you can like do a fast play, you know, through the boring bits.
Is it charged?
I think it
Does it
comes
have a
with
bit of a
charge.
charge?
Yeah, I think you can turn it straight on. I don't remember.
Save the box.
Oh hell yeah, dude! Man, the unfinished side of my basement is just tons of boxes that I'm saving. You know, I'm gonna get this over. I hate how light they are. Okay, here we go. It's like Christmas Day.
I noticed on the box it says includes mini tokens. So do you have to put
It
tokens
does.
to
It
play?
does.
No, yeah, it's got like little baby tokens that.
Oh,
You rip it up.
Oh no!
it was just the slightest hair, just the slightest.
But
You're one of those people.
I'm excited, man. I want to get it open.
you don't need them. They're just cute though. The little tokens.
They're not functional at all, right? They're just
Not
kind
really.
of.
No, I
Yeah.
don't think so.
All right, so
That's in there pretty. packaged
so
pretty
yeah,
well.
here's the USB cable to charge it up, and yeah, so I guess you could just get one of those like adapters and plug it in and
To the
just leave it
wall,
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I may have to do it.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
that's gorgeous! Look
That
at
is
this
nice.
thing.
There you go. You got it.
That is beautiful.
Wow. Very nice.
I love this part. Oh, it's so satisfying. Man, that is so cool. So yeah, there's the little, trackball. Can't really see too big.
Hey, and check this out. This thing even opens.
Oh, the little coin.
So
coin mech opens.
I put my my little coins. I just tucked them in there.
Oh, okay.
just
That's
because.
neat.
Look at that. That's so cool.
Oh, I didn't show the camera. Like,
Yeah, open it up.
you can
Look at
have
that.
a little storage space in there,
Nice.
and it's even like die cast.
Man, if you smoked
Wow.
weed, you could hide your weed in there. I don't, but you could. So how
If
do
you were hiding it.
If you were.
So yeah, so there's the power button. So see if it's got charge.
do I gotta hold it in?
Maybe a little bit. If it's got charge at all.
Come on, baby.
It may not.
I don't guess I had any juice.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
Charge it and we'll try it later in the show.
Here, I totally will.
That is neat. That's super cool.
All right, I am gonna get the USB out,
So
and
does
then
the,
if we can remember by the end of the show, we'll turn
does
it
the
on.
marquee light up?
Yeah, it
in
does.
front?
Yeah.
No
Wow,
way!
that's
Yeah.
impressive.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Nick, you're the coolest.
It's just that's probably how the cabinet was.
Ah, okay.
Little
It's got
lock
a
or
little
something.
Fake lock.
Yeah.
Yeah, Replicade, they're like hardcore
Yeah.
arcade fans.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I will plug this in over here. USB is
It's on the back
it's right here.
somewhere.
It's right here. It says charge
Okay.
in green letters. Okay, so yeah, it's going. Yeah, so the tokens in here, I guess. Yeah. Oh, look at them. They're so tiny.
Oh my gosh.
You can't. Those are getting lost if you don't put them in that little cassette.
Put them in there
that's
right now.
No.
They're gonna be lost.
Yeah, no, they won't. I'll put them in there. I'll put them in there. Yeah, that is really cool, man. Love it. Love it, love it. Oh, yeah, happy anniversary to the show.
So here's to another year.
There's to another year for the show.
There you go,
BitGeek.
guys. Congrats. Here.
There you go. Did you bring that from your house?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I brought you a little.
Car.
I brought you a little podcasting water there, in case you wanted to get something to drink.
Kind of strawberry flavored.
Is it now?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, cool. Back down to business, I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
Now back to E3.
So yeah, I was talking about Christmastime for gamers, and then just a little Christmas present for the show. Yeah. So I'll find a place for that to live, and it'll just permanently be a fixture of the show. From
So it's
now
got
on.
to be somewhere where it's in camera.
Oh, it'll be in camera. Don't you worry about that. Don't worry about that. I got some stuff that's in camera now that I don't even care about. That just gets shoved aside. Okay, so how I thought we would do this show is we would begin by revisiting our predictions from 2018.
Oh man, don't do that.
Well, no, I want to know how we did, and because we oftentimes will kind of like during the prediction show take it pretty seriously, like we're going to revisit it and see how we did, but I don't think we really ever have kind of got, unless it's to give me crap. We've done that with like say the PlayStation. But I am doing the worst probably in all the prediction stuff that we've done thus far.
Okay.
The Genesis Mini prediction is still, it's still going on, but Nick has a slight advantage going right now.
Who predicted that one? The Genesis Mini from last year.
Nobody predicted. I'm just saying, we did
okay.
a show, like our PlayStation Classic episode,
I
where we
see.
were predicting the unannounced games that
Gotcha.
have been released. So Nick and I did one where we predicted the 20 unannounced games.
Oh, okay.
And then about 3 weeks ago, or maybe a month ago even by now, they released like the second 10.
Right, yeah.
So now we know 30 games. And Nick, I think,
I forget what were correct. I don't remember.
I don't remember either, but you had 3 and I had 2.
Wonder Boy, I think, was something.
Wonder
they
Boy was one
announced.
for you. Phantasy Star 4, I think you got. And I had Sonic Spinball. Oh, Vector Man was the third one you got. And I had Sonic.
And they announced Mega Man was
Wily Wars?
Yeah,
Yes.
Wily Wars is going to be
Nice.
on it.
And I
Finally.
thought you were gonna pick that for certain. Like
Yeah.
I was, we kind of talked about like, well, let's. You were like, I want to do
talked
a
myself
fun one.
out of
You
it.
talked yourself out of it. Yeah.
First time in the U.S.
It was on my list, but I
Cool.
talked myself out of actually like saying it.
Yeah. We talked, and I totally thought you were gonna say it, and you went another joke. And then you talked yourself. I think I talked you out of that, and you ended up picking Phantasy Star 4, but got you a point. So I should have just shut up and let you choose that one Japanese game, the All Your Base.
Yeah.
But no, what we're gonna do is I have a ton of predictions, but I think we have 7 at least between, like the lowest number we came prepared with was 7, so we'll just do 7 apiece.
Okay.
And we'll just kind of go one after the other, or we could just do, well, first of all, let's just say at the top of the show, no Sony this year. What do you guys make of this?
Seems odd.
Is this first time they've not done a show, right?
We already know the PlayStation 5 is coming,
Yes.
and so then to like not even be at the show, I don't know what to think.
It's very strange. Yeah, Mark Cerny had come out, the architect of the PlayStation 5, who I think was the architect for the 4 and then the Pro also. And maybe some other things too, but that's where I know him from mainly. And announced some things about PlayStation 5. I think they just went over some very broad strokes of what it's going to be. I think the main thing they wanted to get out there was like it's going to be backwards compatible with PlayStation 4.
Which is a big deal.
It is a big deal, yeah. Microsoft that's been the one big thing they've been lording over Sony fans for quite a while now, because Sony had been doing all those proprietary architectures for a while with 1, 2, and 3. And then they finally were like, well, 4 we're going to build it like a PC, so that they, I guess, because of that, you're like, well, we're planning for future revisions, future PlayStations to be easily backwards compatible, and they're making do on that promise. I don't know what that means for that PlayStation Now network. I guess they'll just continue to do it. In fact, it might be getting better too, because they're in business now with Microsoft and their cloud technologies.
Well, ultimately, everything's going to the cloud, whether we like it or not. I mean, that's, I think, where things are going to go.
Yeah, well, what do you guys, I don't think we've talked about this since it's been announced. What do you guys think about Stadia, since we're on the subject of cloud gaming?
I think it could do extremely well. And I think it just depends on the bandwidth, how
of course,
stable that is. Yeah. If you're playing a game, you don't really want frame drops and those kind of things. So we'll see.
I mean, we live in a city where you have like gigabit networks. That's kind of the norm. And that there are fewer and fewer places that just don't have broadband. But I mean, I do feel bad for those people who don't have broadband.
But if you can go to YouTube and watch a 1080p video and, without issues.
Yeah, but is a 1080p video like the same amount of bandwidth as playing like a next-gen video game? I mean...
Well, the resolution is dependent, right? So if you're going to play a game in 1080p, it's 1080p regardless. If it's 4K, it's 4K, right? Yeah.
Well, the demonstration they showed was very cool.
Yeah.
Where the guy was playing Assassin's Creed, and you guys remember, like there was like a phone and a tablet and the gaming system that's actually they have available, and maybe like a desktop. And he started playing Assassin's Creed on like the phone, paused it, picked it up, without any lag or anything, just started playing it on his tablet. Yeah, it was totally seamless. So that's interesting.
But you notice, I don't know if you saw the details, there's a controller that they're selling. That's so the difference is a standard controller is Bluetooth to the console. This controller is Wi-Fi to your router, so it's more direct, less of a lag.
You think it'd be like a 5 gigahertz kind of thing?
Probably.
Or? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to doubt Google. And Nick and I, when we did our Microsoft episode, and we were both like, and not just us, lots of people was like, Microsoft, no, this isn't going to work.
Right.
Google is probably the biggest, company out there now that could pull something like that off. Yeah. And Google succeeds at pretty much everything they do, except in the city where they were laying network. Right. They pulled out.
They try a lot of things. Right?
They tried kind of.
And that doesn't mean that they would try this and a year from now it's gone, right? But,
the trenches that we dug, they just weren't working out, so we're just going to pull out. We'll give your city a couple $1 million. We'll call it even. But Google doesn't typically fail at anything. They have a good track record. And so I'll be curious to see how it works. And I still just want to have a console plugged into my TV and have the broadband stuff optional if I want. But I'm an old guy. We're old guys. Like, we're old couch co-op
play on
people.
Your iPad with a controller, is that good enough? I mean, because that's basically
I don't know.
Right?
I don't like playing games on an iPad or a tablet. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
well, you could get that controller that they're selling.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But if that option is available where you're there's sort of like faux analogs, your hands are just touching the screen. Like, I don't like that at all.
No.
You have a remote play nowadays with Microsoft and Sony where you can just hook it up to your phone and do it. Obviously there's lag and it doesn't run great, but it's just kind of neat that it works.
Yeah.
Period. I remember playing Destiny 1 on my Vita. Streaming, I mean, and it was pretty good. Like, I was doing strikes. Like, I couldn't raid or anything, but I could do a strike, and I could do the grindy stuff.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, this isn't. Google might have they might. I'm sure they will have some sort of booth and presence at E3.
They might.
This may be an opportunity with Sony not there, sucking up all the oxygen.
Maybe some Google exclusives.
They're gonna have to get some
Yeah,
exclusives.
I think
and
so.
You know, whatever happened to that Atari system that was coming out?
It's still like
Still on Kickstarter, I think, right? Did it get backed completely?
it did get backed.
I think so, yeah.
It got backed. It got what it needed. Now you still might be able to go to Kickstarter and get whatever benefits there. I don't know, but yeah, it got backed really fast. So, but from what I understand, like they're being real cagey with the details of the system. Like they, you know, when they had demos, I don't think it was like a real actual game system. I think they were kind of pulling some strings in the demos.
And the games, like the Tempest version, wasn't even approved by the developer to be for that platform.
Really?
They used another platform's version.
No,
I didn't realize that.
There's a
It
lot of
seems
weird
shady,
stuff.
man. Like I don't like hearing that because I mean Atari is legendary and from our childhood in the 70s and early 80s. But I mean, I don't like the things I'm hearing.
It's not the same company, right? It's just
No, it's not
the
like
name
Nolan
and the
Bushnell or
logo.
anything. Yeah, it's you know, whoever it is, I guess they pulled together the money. I don't even know who actually owns Atari anymore. That it's changed hands so many times.
I just remember I watched a video on it and I thought, hey, that looks pretty neat, but I haven't followed it at all.
I think the controllers, the prototypes they have, even though they're not really functional, they look cool.
Yeah.
The system is neat. Like there's different editions you can get depending on your backing, but there's that wood grain version.
Of course.
Yeah.
You know, it costs a little bit extra. I mean, it looks cool.
And there was like the updated version of like the old school 2600 controller. You know?
Yeah. I like that,
with just
though.
the
That's
single
neat.
joystick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do too. I would be interested to see like what kind of new graphics like they can incorporate that controller. Just a single input going, and you got your little button. But I mean, I'm interested in it. I don't want to pay $400 for it.
Oh yeah.
Is that
But,
what they were asking?
I think so.
Oh, no way.
It's up
Not
there.
gonna happen.
It's like the cost of a next gen system. It's not cheap. It's not a trivial amount of money.
I think that's why I didn't really pay attention to it at all because I was like, yeah, it looks neat, but no.
It needs to be like 150 or something to be competitive because who wouldn't just want to switch? Like it's a boutique kind of thing, I believe, for the hardcore fans. But maybe they'll be there. I don't know. It's in none of my predictions, but I need to think like that. Like, you know, I just got an Oculus Quest and I love it. It's so cool. And Nick, you actually had a chance to demo a few of the games.
Yeah, I tried it out just before we started doing this.
I mean, you know, I've never actually played a PC VR like the Hive or the Vive.
Vive,
yeah.
But
I haven't played the Vive, and I never played the Oculus, whatever it's Rift. So I never had that experience, but I did get PSVR, and then before that, I had more rudimentary experiences like Google Cardboard. And when I got an Android phone, I got like that, you know, the Gear or whatever it's
Gear.
called. Yeah. And that was kind of neat. Like that was probably the best version of VR I had at that time. It's like, it's okay. It's just more for watching things. Like there was a Minecraft game that was okay. It was not too bad. And then I got PSVR, and I was actually pretty excited about that. You know, like for the first time, I felt like I was playing VR for legit. You know, and Sony, when you have a PSVR, you get their exclusive games. You know, like there's even to this day, like they're bringing out more and more exclusive games. There's this game called what is it that I just got? Well, there's Astrobot. There's a game that's like from the Rick and Morty guys. They just made a game. I don't necessarily know if that's exclusive to PlayStation, but anyways, there are exclusives, I guess is the point. And Firewall, where you have like the little gun that you can get, it makes it feel like you're holding an assault rifle, like that kind of thing. So I was excited about that, but you know, obviously, when you go to play PSVR, there's a lot of prep work to get into it.
Yeah.
You know, there's all kinds of wires. You got to get
and
it.
they straight up tell you to be sitting down, don't they, when you play it?
No, you can stand. You can stand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, totally. But it sucks because like you are tethered, so you know it may be best to sit down. You can stand.
I kind of feel like, well, I mean, yeah.
I don't think they necessarily
you can
say
not
you
listen
need
to
to.
them and do whatever you
Well,
want.
no, but
I feel like there was like a little icon on the screen that's like, you know, sit down and put the thing on.
Maybe to get started.
They probably
But
want you to
there
follow
are
or
games
something.
like there are levels like they'll recommend like we recommend this as a sit down experience. We recommend this.
Well,
as
maybe that's
whatever.
what it was. Like the game I played was like, we recommend you sit down.
Maybe. But you know, as cool as it was, it was cumbersome. It wasn't convenient, And after the novelty of it wore off, I found myself not playing it as much. Like I kind of would just rather play a regular game because I can't just turn the game on and start playing.
Yeah.
But with the Quest, you put it on instantly, like your controllers are there in front of you, and you just go into a game and start playing. And you back out, you go to another game, and then when you're done, you just take it off, plug it in, and charge. Like you can play them for like a couple of hours before it needs to charge again.
Yeah.
To me, it's as revolutionary of a piece of hardware as the iPhone was in 2007.
Really?
I know that's
huge.
that's a really
That's
bold
huge.
statement, but I really do believe that it's going to bring a lot. Like it's selling really well. Like places are sold out pretty much everywhere. I was at Best Buy today to pick up a game that I had ordered, and I went over looking for like the headphones that they sell for the Quest. So I was talking to the guy that works there, and he's like, "Yeah, we got some in the day they came out, but we haven't gotten any since then. Like they just they all sold out." And I think Amazon sold out, and like Walmart I think sells them, and they're sold out. Like they're not easy to get.
So it's like a proprietary kind of adapter for the headphones.
I think so. Yeah. So there's two 3.5 jacks, one on each side of the headset.
Wow.
So one is just like your left ear, and then one is your right ear. It's not like a normal set of headphones where you got stereo. Like there's just one jack, and you plug it in, and they go in, and it's stereo sound. It's not like that. So they sell a proprietary. Now I think you can come up with solutions that aren't theirs, that are out there. I know like people are using like Sony and some others, but they're kind of rare, I guess. It's not like you can just walk into a Walmart or even a Best Buy and find them. I think you might have to like go through Amazon, do a little bit of research, and find a way to get it. So, but the speakers sound pretty good. I mean, when you put it on, it was like turned all the way up. We were just like, "Whoa, that's so loud!"
Yeah.
So it sounds okay. It's fine. You don't have to have the headphones. But I mean, without having the wires, I could take it upstairs. I can watch Netflix on the couch. I can put it on, and the Guardian system. Like, explain that. Like that. I mean, that is also very revolutionary. Or I guess I could explain
to where
it,
you like draw the fence like around you, so
Yes.
you can kind of tell it. Like maybe you've got like a plant like sitting there, so you can like draw around
Right.
the plant, like draw this fence, so that's your play area.
That's your play area,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, you put it on, and then off the bat, the cameras activate, so you can see everything around you, and it's like set your Guardian boundaries, and you take your controller and you draw on your ground wherever it is you want to go. Like I've seen people go outside and do them as big as they want to get. Like they get huge, and it'll save it too to a profile. Like if I go up, if I'm I've been playing up in the living room mostly because I have the most space to run around. And so like I did it the one time, and then I go up there and I put the headset on, and it
you
retains
always
it.
like start out like say on the couch, then it just remembers that area.
I guess I don't know how it works. It's just like
I
automatically works that way.
I would think you'd have to have like that point of reference,
But it doesn't ask you to save it or anything. So I don't know. I don't know how it works. It's impressive.
It's neat.
It's really neat how it works. So I know Oculus is going to have a presence at E3, but I don't know exactly how that's going to look. I don't think they're going to have a conference or anything, which is what everybody gets excited about.
Yeah.
E3 doesn't really actually start until like June 11th through the 13th, but everyone gets excited because the news drops starting on the 9th. So starting on Sunday, the 9th, that's the hype. That's where you learn about everything. And then on the 11th, when they let people in, then they have those experiences available to play or not. It could have just been a reveal trailer that you saw in a press conference. But we're talking about the press conference stuff. That's where I get excited. That's where I'm watching the videos, streaming, and I'm like texting you guys like, "Oh, snap, I can't believe they're doing this." But yeah, without Sony there, it's like, what's going on? Is E3 dying again? E3 did die. It went away for a couple of years. And then it came back pretty strong. But with some caveats, like Nintendo, they would have a presence at E3, but it would be just a video, a direct.
Right.
Yeah.
And they would just sort of premiere it at a time during E3, and then you could just watch it either there or like just at home on your computer. Didn't matter. Everybody got the same thing. And and Microsoft has and will this year again have a huge stage. Now they're going to have it all to themselves for the most part. Microsoft's going to be just swinging, everywhere.
Well, Nintendo's going to be there.
Nintendo is going to be there, yes, but Nintendo, they don't do the spectacle as much as Sony and Microsoft would do.
Yeah.
They'll have, in years past, they would have 200 stations of Breath of the Wild. Last year, I think the big thing was probably Smash Brothers. You could play Smash Brothers for the first time, really, and there was a bunch of available stations to play Smash Brothers. And then they would show the directs. But Nintendo, and I guess Sony, it's kind of a no duh, but yeah, Sony, I think, is trying to follow Nintendo's path and do multiple, they're doing the state of plays.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't, it hasn't been super impressive.
Yeah.
So far. There's been a couple of them, and I'm sure they'll get better. I'm sure Nintendo's weren't the best, but we learned that Nintendo had to do the directs because their shows, their conferences are always very dry and kind of boring. Unless Miyamoto comes out and does something exciting, he's always great. Yeah. But when, for example, when they revealed the Switch, how horrible was that when they were revealing the Switch? It was so painful. Video. It's not good at all. And when they just did the Pokemon Direct recently, and that was boring and really unwatchable too. It's oh gosh, it's just different. We need Nintendo of America to do their thing. Reggie's not going to be there this year. Yeah. We're going to have Koopa or whatever,
it's
Bowser.
Be a weird E3.
Yeah, it's going to be a weird E3 with no Sony and no Reggie.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about Nintendo is they're so leak proof, it seems. You always get surprised with the Nintendo stuff, whereas with Xbox and PlayStation, leaks inevitably happen. Or rumors, and sometimes they're right, sometimes they're not. I feel like I'm always pleasantly surprised after Nintendo Direct.
For games, at least.
For games.
There's a big leak or rumor for this E3.
Mm-hmm.
And, kind of referencing the Switch Mini, everyone's heard that for months now.
Yeah, so. Those things, right. There have been numerous different publications that have more or less confirmed that it's happening now. We don't know to the extent, there was supposed to be a Pro and then a Mini, and now they're the Pro is a ways off and the Mini would be the one that we get this year. So I'll be curious to see what a Mini would look like. Mm-hmm. It's going to need to be dockable, right? It wouldn't be a Switch anymore if you couldn't dock it somehow.
I think there's been some kind of renders out there of what people think it'll look like. It's basically a Switch, smaller version of the Switch where you can't remove the Joy-Cons.
Can't remove the Joy-Cons, yeah.
And I think the screen might be slightly smaller. So
hopefully they'll fix whatever drift issues that occur with the Switch. You know what I mean? With the analogs. Does yours do that? Because mine's really bad.
No.
Where it
you might need some new Joy-Cons.
It happens. It's a real known issue out there. Where if you're playing and you let go of the joystick, but it continues to drift in a direction. Mm-hmm. Mine has been doing it for a while.
Wow.
There's workarounds that people have discovered, if you lift up the flap and get some, not air spray, but stuff that you spray it and then it just sucks up the dust, and it remedies it for a little while, but then it gets worse again.
Wow.
Mine has always been like that. Many times I've thought about just buying a new set of Joy-Cons because,
that's the way to go probably.
Yeah. And in, a lot of games, I'll just use the digital, well, it's not digital, it's just the buttons shaped like a digital pad or whatever, but I'll just use that for a lot of 2D type games so I don't miss it. But if I play Fortnite or something that really requires an analog, you're playing and then you kind of stop to aim and the little buddy wants to run some more. You're this is unplayable. You can't do this. Now the right, it's not my right one. It's just the left one. So so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the 7 apiece, and one of those included we're gonna do a wish, and we kind of did this in the past where we don't necessarily think it's gonna happen. In fact, we're pretty positive it wouldn't happen, but wouldn't it be nice if this happened?
More pie in the sky.
Pie in the sky, just and if it works and you call it, you're I'm a genius. You just look that much cooler. You guessed 20 things, one thing landed. You're not a genius, dude. It's the law of averages.
I know what my wish would be then because I've already accepted it's not gonna.
So I thought it might be fun to revisit last year's picks. So let's start with Martin. So Martin's 2018 E3 picks were a new Battletoads or Perfect Dark game, and you nailed the Battletoads. They did show a little brief teaser trailer of a Battletoads game. We haven't seen anything since.
Now, I think, as part of my predictions for this E3, we're going to see that game released. Or an announcement. And
Spoiler alert!
Probably a release date, I think.
You would think, right?
I would hope so.
Because people have been begging for a new Battletoads game for a while. And then you came up with a prediction, and it's like, well, yeah, why not? I mean, people have been wanting it.
What other exclusives does Microsoft have? I mean, they've got to put something out there.
They do need to do some stuff. I do think this will be a big breakout year for Microsoft because they have been buying up some studios in the last year, 18 months. So I think you're going to see some of the fruits of those purchases bear out a little bit, and Microsoft is going to have a good show. Because they're basically the biggest presence there. They're going to own the show for the most part. Physically at the show. Nintendo will have big announcements that's going to have, their news cycles will be big. There will be a lot of Nintendo news going around, but Microsoft's going to be the big people there. And, you'll have like your Konamis and your Squaresofts, and they're going to have their own. Ubisoft, they always have big presences. What's another one? Bethesda, like they'll have their shows, I assume. I haven't heard anything where they're not. But here the last couple of years, they've had their own press conferences, and they have enough IPs and good games.
Oh, yeah.
A couple of years ago, I don't think it was last year, 2 years ago, they had the big reveal of Ubisoft with the Mario plus Rabbids. And that was a huge, that got leaked, actually. There was a bit of a leak, I think, a few weeks or months before that actually came out. But everybody thought it looked, they thought it was a stupid idea. It's not like they thought it looked stupid because we didn't actually see it. Just the idea seemed ridiculous.
Right, yeah.
Like, why would they waste a Mario game on this Rabbids property, which most people seem to hate?
Yeah.
There has to have its fans because they make enough games, but people I talk to find them annoying.
Yeah,
but they're really charming and cute in Mario plus Rabbids. That was a fun game.
It's a good game. I like the game.
Yeah, and so last year the big thing was there's going to be a a Star Fox game or whatever. So that didn't happen. We'll see what happens this year. But,
there was that crossover with Star Fox.
Well, that wasn't Ubisoft though, was it?
That
was
Ubisoft.
It was that fighting the ship game that had the crossover with Star Fox.
Right.
Was that Ubisoft?
Yeah, it was Ubisoft.
Okay.
Yeah.
So their
The
partnership
toy and
continued.
stuff.
Yeah, and those were the Starlink game.
Yeah, Starlink.
Pretty neat. You can get them dirt cheap now, but I just wanted to get the R-Wing.
Right.
That's all I cared about. Yeah. And I paid full price. I could have had that R-Wing for $20 nowadays. Yeah. But I got it. So you guessed that. Another prediction was you predicted a rare kart racer.
I don't remember predicting that. But
you PS5 sneak peek. You predicted.
It's been announced.
And we all agreed. Yeah. We all agreed. Yeah. A PS4 portable or Vita 2.
That was my pie in the sky.
Yeah, we didn't. It's Sony could, but then again, why bother? Yeah. Nintendo just continues to own that whole mobile market. Yeah. Not mobile, but handheld. Then you had guessed, Final Fantasy VII Remake, there'll be an actual playable demo.
There might be one this year.
There might be one this year. Yeah. It didn't happen. You predicted GameCube games on the Switch. Didn't happen.
Should have.
Yeah. You'd hinted
Mario
at
Sunshine, where are you?
Yeah. You'd hinted at a Metroid Prime trilogy for Switch.
I think that's still coming.
A remastered Metroid Prime. Yeah. Which was rumored at one point. I remember that rumor floating around. You predicted a new Mario Maker game, which happened later.
Yeah.
And which, again, we all agree, that's a no-brainer. Yeah. But the more interesting thing you did was you were or a Zelda Maker.
Which actually would have liked to have seen a Zelda Maker. That,
to me, was the best pick of that episode. I loved that idea, and it never dawned on me that they could do that. Yeah, obviously, they have many assets. They could do it, but it just...
The dungeons and
things.
Man,
no, they could totally do a top-down Zelda Maker.
Yes, they could. So, unfortunately, that didn't happen. But yeah, so not at E3, but... And you'll learn, or we'll see, that a lot of these predictions that we made did, in fact, happen within the last year, just not at E3.
Right.
So they've been drip feeding us, and it may happen again this year. A lot of picks we do may happen, just not right at E3. But it doesn't count. You don't get the points. And a new Balloon Fight or Kid Icarus game. You made a little prediction that might happen. Wah, wah, didn't happen. Okay, so here are the ones that I predicted. I predicted a new HoloLens which one did
They
come out.
announced it, yeah. HoloLens
But
2.
it just wasn't what I thought it would be.
Right.
It was like a, not a consumer HoloLens. Like, it was like a $2,500.
Yeah, it's enterprise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also made the bold predictions that there would be like a big Minecraft VR reveal. Because, I mean, they own Minecraft.
Right.
And I thought they might implement like a new Halo thing, because
Which
there was a HoloLens demo a couple years back
Yeah.
with a Halo game.
That's true. Now with Minecraft, you're kind of right because they're having the Minecraft AR version on the smartphones.
Now, like 11 months later. But I mean, it's
Right.
not an Xbox thing. It's, just like
Yeah,
a mobile
no.
thing. So I predicted Half-Life 3, which we all made fun of me. They're like, okay, I was trying to like hit one out of the park right there. That ain't gonna happen. I predicted a Grand Theft Auto 6 announcement. And I even went a bit further and I said that it would be unveiled at the Microsoft conference. Didn't happen. This is a bold prediction by me. A new exclusive IP. What the hell was I thinking? Like, that's so vague.
Microsoft?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I predicted Bloodborne 2 for Sony. I thought that would happen. It seemed like the time was right, but it didn't happen. I predicted a Wolfenstein 2 for PSVR because there was a Doom PSVR, and it didn't happen. I predicted a new Punch-Out game or a 1080 game because that was a prevalent rumor flying around
That would be cool.
weeks or months before. That didn't happen. This is the most interesting one that I thought.
They should have had like a new Punch-Out game instead of what was
Arms.
that? Arms.
Yeah.
Instead of Arms, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that is
Should've
kind
been-
of the
I
spiritual
admire them for
Punch-Out
like
game,
trying
right?
to create a new IP or whatever, because like they did Splatoon for the previous generation before that. Like they're trying.
I get
People
it.
complain all the time, like just sequel.
They
But
do.
yeah, I would love it if that were like a Punch-Out
They
game.
totally do.
Yeah. So, but this one, I remember saying it and going, it probably won't happen, but it'd be cool if it did. I predicted VR for Switch, and like 9 months later, it happened. VR for Switch came out. Not like a headset that you wear or anything,
It's
but
like the Google Cardboard.
it's like the Google Cardboard.
It's neat,
And they're supporting it. They just announced recently that Smash Brothers has got a new new update available. But have you seen the video? It's neat. Like you can watch the match, like, because I mean they have all the assets in 3D anyway, so you can.
Thanks for the free update.
Thanks for the free. Yeah, they didn't charge us.
But here's the thing: are they seriously thinking that's going to compete against
No,
what you just bought?
No, with a Quest.
Yeah.
No.
Well, then why even bother doing it?
It's just Nintendo, and that's what I said last year. It's just what Nintendo does. It's like they're a toy company. Their past is about being a toy company.
Just a wacky thing.
It's like a viewfinder, but like really cool.
They like doing these little tech demos.
Yes. So anyway, I didn't get any points because it didn't actually happen at E3. But I pat myself a little bit on the back because at least it did happen that year. I predicted a new Nintendo Switch, kind of like how they had the 3DS, the new 3DS. I thought that might be something that would happen. Didn't happen. It'll eventually happen. We all agreed that's going to happen because that's what Nintendo does.
Yeah.
They sell you the handheld and then they'll let it kind of like, they'll let everybody buy one and then 2 or 3 years they'll start iterating on it. So.
Well, in which I said it's the bait and switch.
The bait and switch, yes, the great pun you made. I predicted a Madden game because they're doing FIFA and there's the 2K games, the basketball, and Madden just makes all the sense in the world. They didn't do it. I predicted Mario RPG 2. I thought it'd be kind of neat if they brought an old IP back, and that didn't happen. And I predicted a new Mario Picross game, which I thought would be kind of cool.
Now, when you say Mario RPG 2, I mean, because there's been lots of Mario RPG games, mostly on handhelds.
I mean, like an actual
Mario
proper
and
sequel
Luigi.
to the Super Nintendo.
You mean the Square one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
I don't
and
know
then,
what the relationship is between Square and
Yeah, I don't
Nintendo
know.
right now. So.
I'm sure it's fine. I mean, they're putting all their Final Fantasy, Squaresoft or whatever.
Yeah.
They're putting all their games. I mean, I guess
But
it's
we're
not
not
as
gonna-
tenuous.
We're not going to see a Final Fantasy VII remake on Switch. If we did, I would be crapping
you-
my pants excited.
you never can tell. I mean, I would have never guessed they could have gotten like a Wolfenstein 2 port on the Switch.
The
but they
Doom
did.
port, yeah. I mean,
The
those
Doom
things
port,
look
it's pretty damn
good.
playable.
Yeah.
I have it. And I was impressed by it. So let's get into Nick's. Nick has fewer picks, but here's what he had. He predicted a Shenmue 3 playable demo.
That didn't happen.
Fortunately, didn't happen. Predicted a Namco Tekken X Street Fighter game
Yeah.
because they've been promising
They
that.
kept promising, kept saying it's still in the works, and I've given up on it.
And they just once again gave you the cold shoulder there again. You predicted Resident Evil 2 remake announcement.
Yeah.
That actually happened at E3.
That was at E3, so
I believe it was.
okay.
Yeah.
Because it's obvious it's out now.
Yeah.
But okay, so I got one. Yeah.
Yeah, you got one there.
Yeah, it was a good
And
game.
then you predicted a new Animal Crossing game, which
It's still coming. It wasn't announced then.
It wasn't announced
but it
then,
is.
but they
It was afterwards.
at a direct they announced
it was
yeah.
like I think it was when they were talking about Smash Brothers.
Yes. That's how it was like a backdoor reveal, yeah.
Yeah.
They had one of the little Animal Crossing
And
guys.
we got Animal Crossing coming to Switch.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So, one of the and not that long after E3. You know?
No, it
No,
wasn't. No, yeah. So
That announcement feels like a while ago.
So that was close.
It was close. All right.
Hopefully we get some more details on that at E3.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to move into our actual 2019 predictions.
Okay.
Now, I have a whole bunch. I'm just going to pick from my pool of games that I have. So, I'm going to
start with.
Nick, why don't you go first? It can be, I'd said let's do Microsoft and Nintendo. Let's just play it by ear. If you want to do a Nintendo, do a Nintendo. If you want to do a Microsoft, do a Microsoft. If you just, while we were talking through that whole buildup, you thought of something new that wasn't even for Nintendo or Microsoft, but you got a gut feeling, you can make that a prediction. So your prediction could be anything. Just give me a prediction.
Halo Infinite.
I hate to break it to you, but they've already announced that
They've already
game.
announced that.
Oh. but they'll show.
Oh, they're gonna show.
Oh, okay. So what?
Actual gameplay.
To get
'cause
the
they haven't shown
point.
gameplay.
To get the point. How will what's the deal? Are they going to show new trailer gameplay footage? Are they going to have an actual playable demo that somebody's going to get on stage and walk you through? Keeping in mind Microsoft's going to have a big show. What are they going to do?
I don't know. They'll just show footage.
They'll just show
There
footage.
probably wouldn't be anything playable.
So you don't think it's going to come out in 2019?
I don't know.
Because if it's coming out in
Yeah,
2019, it's going to be
2020
pretty
game.
playable. It's going to be 2020.
What do you think?
If it's going to be a 2020 game, do you think they'll just hold on to it then for the next Xbox?
I think it'll be backward compatible.
I think they gotta show something though.
They really do. They kind of, because Halo is one of their big properties. It's one of their few IPs that everybody still cares about. Less and less, but people still care about it.
I feel like they gotta show something, but
So they'll show
whether it'll actually be playable, I don't know.
So what you think they'll do? They'll show like a world exclusive type trailer, and they'll have in-game footage, but it won't be playable at the show.
They'll show more gameplay at the show, maybe.
All right. So let's jot this down. So Nick's first prediction is playable demo, playable let's see, gameplay footage.
I was gonna say because he starts like that isn't what I said.
No, I know.
No, he says-
I'm like,
he just
are
said
you sure you don't
reveal.
want a playable demo?
Halo Infinity.
No,
reveal.
gameplay footage of Halo Infinity. Do you think they'll have a window of when it'll release?
I don't.
You want to go out on a limb and predict when it'll be coming out? Fall 2019, spring 2020, summer 2020?
Probably spring 20.
Spring 2020. Okay.
Fall would be nice, but I don't know.
I'm not exactly sure. I can't remember the history of the Halo games and what time period they get released. Is it usually fall?
Oh yeah, I don't know. In the past, I don't know.
Because I'm sure they'll probably follow that,
Yeah.
whatever that normally is.
Yeah.
We know fall is the huge. Well, fall is big for your
Is it bad that I still haven't even opened the other one?
5. I still have it in
collection or
cellophane
which
too.
one?
No.
I've been wanting to play
yeah,
it.
5. I haven't even opened it.
See, I've been waiting to
I
play
have
it with.
I bought it.
I've been waiting to
opened
play it with you. Well, I got it with my Xbox. So yeah, I've been waiting to play with you, but we never have time to get online and do it.
I'm pretty sure it's still sealed.
I know mine is. It's terrible. I mean, I got a lot of still sealed games.
I did at least play and beat the campaign of 4.
Yeah.
We
No,
didn't
yeah.
really play much 4 at all.
Well, 4 was pretty good. I remember playing through the campaign of 4. I remember we did that online with Troy and those.
Yeah, really, 4 was really about the last time I really kind of played online with friends.
Yeah. I dug 4. I thought it was cool. I really liked the alien technology, the because like there's always been like the Covenant and the Flood, where they kind of introduced a new faction of enemy.
Yeah.
And they were kind of like the Vex from the Destiny. Like they were they were cyborg. They were like cybernetic. There was like a element to them.
They were neat. It was very different, but it was neat.
So 343 can do a good job. And that was, I think, the first game that they when they handed it over from Bungie. Because like Bungie did 3, and then they did 4. Not Forge. Was it Forge?
Oh no,
the last one?
No, Forge is like the.
That's the name of the game.
That
mode.
Yeah.
Game editor mode.
Well, shoot, I probably could have said it if you didn't say Forge. I don't know.
But anyways, that was like their big swan song. That was like the big game at the end. So yeah, okay. So I agree that we're gonna see some Halo footage at the very least. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Phil Spencer got up there and like with a controller and played like the first level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see that.
Like 10 minutes of the first level. Like I could very easily see that.
Yeah.
I'm with you. If it were going to be a 2019 game, you'd think we'd see some stuff by now.
I love the announcements that come out of nowhere and they say, and it's due today.
Oh my God.
You can buy it today, right after the show.
You can count on one or two of those happening nowadays.
I love those.
I do too. Like when they did the, what was the Tetris 99 game or whatever? Like they were just like in the direct. You're like, you can get it now.
Yeah.
Go download it right after the direct.
And that's why I like Nintendo so much too, because even if they don't do it just like that, the game's just around the corner in a lot of cases.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not available today, but it's available like, July. So that's pretty cool how they do that. Martin.
Yes.
Oh, any thoughts on Halo Infinite? I said Infinity. It's Infinite.
I think it's going to be later that year, 2020.
So you're thinking fall Christmassy?
Yeah, I think it's going to probably...
Like November?
Yeah. I think so. I think it's going to probably coincide with new hardware.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be later in the year, if not.
Now, I feel like, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
I feel like they came out, not, I forget exactly who, but Microsoft made an announcement, or at least made a statement that they were going to continue on with the current generation for at least another year, possibly two. But that's not all that surprising. I mean, there's always overlap.
Yeah, it's running Windows 10. I mean, they're using the same hardware architecture probably. So there's no reason it can't be backward compatible.
But
with a new system.
Every company says that though, so people don't immediately stop buying.
Yeah, you don't want to leave all your inventory in a warehouse and you got to like mark it down or whatever. That's a good point.
Because they're like, I'm going to get the new thing and I'm not going to buy the old thing anymore.
That's probably why PlayStation, or Sony rather, has not been all so quick about yanking the PlayStation 4, because it's still selling really well. They're approaching like 100 million sold.
Yeah.
So, why stop selling,
We may not even get the console this year or next year. I don't know.
Yeah, it may be not until 2021. Like we might just keep expecting it to, because, like we were expecting it last year to be really soon.
Mm-hmm.
We may end up with this E3 and then not have, it could be another 2 years for all we know. And I'm okay with that, honestly, because at the end of a life cycle of the system they really max out the capability of it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're getting like the best possible games. When a new system comes out, and that may not be the case so much with like these newer systems because they're just the same kind of architecture, but it seemed like, especially with older architecture, and like you're going from one to the next, it takes them like a good year and a half to even get it down. Yeah. So the brand new games, although they have really superior graphics and sounds, they don't play very well. So you still want to play the old system anyway until they kind of catch up.
What was it like on Xbox One, like that Assassin's Creed game that came out like at launch, and it was like so buggy, and like the graphical glitches and stuff. That was like horror,
giant heads,
like
eyeballs. Hatchet.
All right.
No, I think it's more later in the year.
Okay. So Nick's thinking maybe spring 2020. You're thinking more like November, and I'm leaning more towards Nick in spring, because I feel like in November, December is when you get like your Call of Duties, those types of games every year come out around that time before Christmas. Mm-hmm. They're not going to want to maybe compete with those games.
Yeah.
That's just my feeling on it.
Maybe.
I could also, say, yeah, okay, makes sense to do it in November because it's like your biggest sales time of the year.
Well, and I can totally see why it might be later too, just because like we haven't really seen anything. And,
Nope.
I
haven't seen a thing since last E3.
If it's got a big single player component, then it's gonna probably take a while.
Right.
So.
And I hope it does because those
do it right.
Those campaigns are what I play for, really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm just not all that into the PvP, to be honest. Okay, Martin, why don't you hit us up with your pick?
Okay.
Your first pick.
Let's see here. Well, so one of these is from my prior prediction. I think we're going to see a true Battletoads reveal and probably a demo.
So we're gonna see somebody playing the game at some point,
it's gonna be playable,
like in a
on the stage,
like a treehouse type event, or
yes.
on the floor.
Yeah, like they've got to actually show something.
Well, it's not like it was this huge AAA title when they revealed it last year, and they didn't show much. And honestly, to goodness, like it probably looks a lot different by now.
Yeah,
because look at Bloodstained and look how much that's changed just from the last year. Like that looks like a completely different game by now.
It does. Yeah, there was that video recently that kind of did a little side by side.
Yes,
that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it looks really. I mean, I thought it looked cool before, but now it just looks really cool. All right, so we're gonna get like a Battletoads demo and probably also, I'm guessing, some sort of release date.
I would think so. Yeah.
Did it now? Is that Microsoft only, or is it multi-platform? Because I don't remember now.
So it's gonna be Xbox, but it's probably also gonna be PC. Because they're doing that Xbox Pass.
Yeah, they're kind of. So. Oh yeah, the Pass is coming to PC now.
Yeah.
We just learned.
So yeah, probably both basically Windows 10.
But it'll be a Microsoft exclusive, you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right. And it'll probably be a timed exclusive, I bet too.
It'll probably be Xbox, and then a little while later for PC, Windows 10.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Any guess as to when it'll get revealed, as far as a date?
No. I'll pass on the date.
Pass on the date.
Pass on the date.
Passing on the date. Okay. So I guess it's my turn now. I'm gonna come out with something kind of big. I feel like for the first one. What do I want to do? Okay. So I remember a few months back there were some rumors going around in the rumor mill once again. Sometimes there's truth to it, sometimes it's just people being just fantasizing. But there was this rumored partnership with Microsoft and Nintendo. And that Nintendo was going to somehow gain access to Microsoft's library of Game Pass games.
Right.
That was like the rumor.
I'd seen that.
And it seemed to be a really strong rumor, but then it kind of got squashed pretty fast.
Right.
So what I'm going to say is, I'm not going to come right out and say that Game Pass is going to become available for the Switch or some sort of cloud-based, remote type connection, like where you're actually playing an Xbox but on a Switch. I'm going to say that yes, there's a relationship brewing with Microsoft. I feel like there's smoke where there's smoke, there's fire. Something is going on there. I'm going to say that now Nintendo got access to Cuphead, right?
Right.
And it's rumored that Ori is another one of those Microsoft games that could see its way to the Switch. So I'm going to say that Nintendo is going to return the favor, and they're going to release, I'm going to say Tetris 99. I want to say they're going to put Tetris 99 out on the Xbox.
Really?
Yeah, and how do you guys feel about that?
That's their only online
I don't
game.
see that happening.
You don't think so?
No.
I know it's kind of a big draw because it's a free thing you get when you have the online service. But Nintendo they haven't proven that they're very smart when it comes to their online service, so they could do it.
He ain't wrong there.
Yeah. What's to say they wouldn't just give it away?
The reason I say no is because they just came out with that Game Boy skin. And it's kind of like, sure, they could release the other stuff on Xbox and not have the Game Boy skin, but it seems like they're in bed with Nintendo right now, at least.
You get gold points if that one comes to fruition.
I'm gonna say it's. I think it's gonna. I think they're gonna announce it. It won't be a huge thing. It'll be like probably buried in some sort of sizzle reel. But when people see it, they're gonna go nuts, and it'll be available today. It'll be one of those things where like you can get it right now. So that's my first prediction.
Now, but it has to be Tetris 99, not like Tetris some other.
Yeah,
Tetris.
it's gotta be. It's gotta be a port of Tetris 99. Unless it's like Tetris 99 Xbox or something. You got to give me that. I mean, you know.
No.
Oh, come on. You guys are really hard. So, yeah, that's my first prediction. Nick, you got your second one?
Have they announced a Gears 5 yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
that's fairly close, I think.
Yeah.
Coming along.
There'll probably be gameplay of that one. Yeah.
I would imagine so.
Demos and all.
All right, well, I'll just say that there'll be gameplay. You can play Gears 5.
Okay.
But will you want to?
I think that'll be a certainty.
That's another one that I haven't played the most recent. I didn't open it.
Is it Gear 6 or 5? Because is 5 the one that's out already?
Oh,
I can't keep count anymore.
Yeah, 5 is the one we haven't played yet. It's out. I think it'll be Gear 6.
I
right?
think
Well,
4.
5
I think
wasn't-
4 is the one I haven't played.
Oh, is it 4?
I think.
I don't
Well,
know.
but see, but there's,
in the
there was
comments below, please let us know.
there
We're
was
going to
a,
get roasted for this.
there was a Gears 3, and then there was a
Yes.
Gears that was
Oh, but it wasn't numbered.
Yeah, it wasn't numbered.
On
It was
Xbox
like-
360.
So it was a side story kind of thing. Judgment. It was a
Yeah,
it?
and I didn't like it as much.
Well,
yeah.
and the
I
new
liked
one's
it.
based on the side story.
As much.
And so then
You know that, right?
And then there was
No,
a
what?
4.
The new one's more side story stuff. It's the younger generation taking it over.
Oh. Well, that's cool. So it's not going to be Marcus Phoenix?
No, he's old now. He's
Well, he was old in the last
he's
one, right?
Like probably in a wheelchair.
Okay, so yeah, we're going to say Gears 5. We'll back it up and say it's Gears 5.
But at least 4 though, at least I've opened and I've played online a little bit. I just haven't played campaign at all. I never did start campaign.
Horde mode is the best part of Gears
yeah.
anyway.
'Cause- Yeah, I opened
Just
it to play
release
Horde.
a horde mode and be done with it.
That would be something, actually, yeah. Just
Horde
release a
mode
Horde
on-
mode.
Hey,
They ought to just have like
Horde mode for Nintendo Switch.
yeah, they ought to just have
and
like
then
a
they get Tetris
download.
99.
They ought to just have a download for Horde mode.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
and that's. I think people will be really happy with that. Like, yeah, there'd be your people that are like, no, campaign. I'm like, yeah, campaign's fun and all, but you go back to Horde mode. That's what it's all about.
Like Horde mode for free, but buy for the campaign.
Horde mode 99.
Horde mode with Mario playable character. Okay, so want to guess a release date, or do you want to pass since Martin passed
This
on the last
year.
one?
It's gonna be this year.
Just 2019.
Yeah, like
Christmas.
All right, so we're gonna say 2019, probably towards the end of the year. Okay, so
fourth quarter.
fourth quarter.
It's no
fair
longer
enough.
developed by Epic, so I mean that's all they're working on.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, even the last one, Epic didn't do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all they're
It's-
all about.
I don't know who the developer is. but-
One studio taking care of it. Well, it looked just like all the other ones, so they did a good job. All right, Martin, what's your number 2?
So I think for Xbox, my big one is we're gonna get some pretty good details on the next hardware. We're
Okay,
gonna
you
get
got to name the name of it.
Xbox Next.
Nextbox? They wouldn't be that clever, would
I
they?
don't know. Xbox Next.
Xbox Next. So is it just going to be like when they did Scorpion, where like it's just a reel of developers going, "Oh, you're going to jizz your pants when you see this thing"? Like they're not going to be talking about anything. They're going to like, "Oh, 50 teraflops." It's
Well,
going to be.
I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna show Halo Infinity running on
Ooh.
and then it's gonna be backward compatible
Gotcha.
on the Xbox One.
So they tease us. They tease the hardware, and then
They're
they
gonna
show like
show
a
the
few
game.
seconds.
They're gonna show the game,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be amazing. They'll be like,
Yeah.
by the way, it's running on the new Xbox Next.
That's a total Microsoft move right there. Okay.
I feel like they've done that with something.
Next box.
But you're not going to get this for another 2 or 3
That's right.
years. I like Nextbox. Now, I hope they do
I
that.
think it's gonna be next year.
I think that's a
think so.
grown-worthy enough name that you know.
They're naming like
I mean,
like
Xbox One X,
they are
Xbox
screwed
Next.
up.
I don't know.
And they can't call the next one Xbox 2, can they? I mean,
They could. But
I mean, it hasn't been done before. I suppose they could, but like it's like their fourth one. It's ridiculous.
Xbox 2, like 2 is spelled out like
TOO or something stupid. Like they won't even get the TWO right. They'll call it TOO.
Yeah, it'll have like some kind of like meaning, you know, like this is Xbox also.
Yeah.
It's Xbox 2.
It's too good. It's too good.
As
All
long
right.
as it's not Xbox
So, but you're
Cloud
gonna say
Edition or
like,
something.
so are you actually going out on a limb and predicting when we'll see the new hardware?
Yeah.
You think they're actually gonna sell it next year?
Uh-huh.
Ooh, 2019. I think you're wrong, sir.
No, next year. Well, it's gonna sell in
2020.
Yeah.
You're right. It's 2000. Okay,
Yeah.
so all right, I'm more with you then. That's so sad. Like it still feels just like not 2019, even though we're like well into June. Basically,
It's like almost halfway over.
yeah. So you're gonna say it's gonna be for sale 2020, what, the end of the year or
Yeah,
something?
probably. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
I'm
right.
going out on a
So
limb there.
they're
but
gonna
yeah.
try to get a jump on Sony.
I think so. I mean,
Since
they
Sony's
have to.
made their announcement, they're gonna try to pull a Sega Saturn.
Oh God, that worked out so well for them. Pissed off all the retailers except for Babbage's, and who was the other retailer? It's like a handful that only had access to it. Like, how dumb is that?
Yeah.
It's like not only you want us to like you want us to put it everywhere you possibly can, and they only put it in a few places. So dumb. Okay, so on to me. All right, so last year one of the big rumors was and it was a head scratcher, but they had art and everything. Like it was kind of one of those deals where like, well, they were right about Mario plus Rabbids. This must be a sure thing too. And it was that kind of, it was like a Star Fox, but like an F-Zero game. But they had all the Star Fox characters.
Oh,
So here's what I think. Here's what I think is going on. So we know that Metroid Prime, Retro is taken over for whoever was working on, you know, before
Bandai or whatever.
Bandai, yeah. So Retro is now fully on board with the new Metroid Prime game.
Yep.
It was Retro that was rumored to be releasing that game, that Star Fox game. I fully believe that they had made a bunch of that game that maybe was almost nearly complete. So it had to be. It just has to be true. So I think that a new company is going to come in and take a lot of what they'd started, a lot of the assets, and instead of making this like cute kind of crossover game, they're going to do a proper Star Fox sequel. And I think, and it's going to be Star Fox 3. That's what it's going to be called. And I don't know who's going to be doing it, but you know, it'll be. That's just my idea. Like I think they're going to do a proper Star Fox game. And I think a lot of it too is like the popularity of that Starlink game. Like everybody that got that game got the Star Fox version.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like everybody wanted it really bad. So
here's my thought on that.
all right.
I agree that we may see something with Star Fox.
Yeah.
But I think it's actually going to be, they're going to take the Star Fox Zero, redo the controls the way they probably should have been, and put it on the Switch. Because that game...
A port or like...
A port. Pretty much a port. Because here's the thing. They put a lot into it, and it bombed.
It bombed pretty hard.
But I think they're going to try and resurrect it.
Well, see, that's why I think that's going to be a proper Star Fox game. Like, it's just going to be all in space, maybe a side mission on land or something, but mostly in space.
Yeah, I can kind of see that happening before, like, a proper new game, you know.
What, retest the waters with that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's Nintendo's MO.
Make Zero right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But since it's my prediction, I'm going to go with Star Fox 3, and I think it's going to be...
He gets into all the details, like it's going to be called Star Fox 3.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's going to be called Star Fox 3, and I think it's going to be out 2020. Because as I explained, I think they've got a lot of the game completed. They're just going to move it. They're just going to make it a proper game.
I would love to see anything
I do
Fox,
think, well, that's what I'm saying. I do think that we may see, you know, more Star Fox.
Yeah.
Whatever it may be, Star Fox, you know.
And it's even possible that Ubisoft is like building that because they did such a good job with
You're right.
Starlink.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That partnership is not going anywhere anytime soon. It's been too good, you know, since they started doing it with Mario plus Rabbids. Yeah. All right, Nick, what's your number 3 prediction?
Well, at one point I would have said actually see some Metroid Prime 4, but since a while back when, you know, like you had already kind of mentioned, we know they're kind of making it from scratch.
That game feels like it's going to be away.
So yeah, I don't think we'll see anything now. I don't know. What do I say? He had already kind of talked about Battletoads. We'll see. I think I don't know so much if this will be E3 since Nintendo likes to do their own thing in the Nintendo Directs.
Yeah.
But very soon, I think we'll be seeing more as far as DLC fighters for Smash Brothers. You know, more news coming soon for that.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my picks. That they would reveal like a new DLC pack.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
and it's usually 2, right? They usually do it in 2s, or they do more than 2.
Sure.
Well, I mean, I think Joker. I think that's his name from Persona.
From Persona 5.
I don't really know anything about
6.
Persona.
Is it Persona 5 or 6? The new one that came out.
I don't know, but
I don't play it either. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We've established
everybody will hate us for that.
Let them. I'm fine with that.
But yeah, I mean, that was like the only character we even knew about for a while.
Yeah. So you think that they'll just go ahead and properly introduce him? Because I don't think Nintendo's come out and said that he's a
No, they
character.
need to introduce.
No, we know. In fact, he's out now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah, like,
all right. I haven't loaded up Smash Bros in a while.
I think, but yeah, I didn't buy that, so I don't know.
Okay.
But
well, then give us 2 characters. Then you would think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like he came out, and then there was an update that you could like create your own levels. That happened at
because that got leaked in the little commercial. That had it like down on the side,
I think.
And people freeze framed it and like there's a created level thing coming out.
But I don't know. I think probably I think they'll announce like one at a time. I don't know.
Oh, you don't think they'll do like a so just one?
Kind of like how they started out Street Fighter 4 or I started to say 4 or 5. Street Fighter 5, you know, they would kind of do like one character a month or every 2 months, whatever it was.
Well, let's say you get a point if they reveal a new character, but a bonus point if you nail the actual character who it's going to be.
Oh, I didn't even think about picking characters.
Oh, you got to pick, man. That's what makes it even more fun if you actually nail the actual character. Because I mean, a new reveal is a given. I think like they're going to have more eventually.
Yeah, I never even gave that any thought.
All right, we'll come back to you on that.
Okay.
Give it some thought while Martin gives us his next pick.
Now, I was talking to a coworker, and he, one of his character ideas is, was it Dante from Devil May Cry?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was going to be my choice.
Yeah.
Dante.
So
I could see that.
Yeah.
I could totally see that happening.
yeah, because I think they're bringing that to Switch, like the original.
Well,
Devil May Cry.
it hasn't been announced, but it's a rumored thing that a Devil May. Well, because Konami said they won't entertain the idea unless they have a Devil May Cry game on the Switch, and it just seems like a game that you could port pretty easily over to the Switch. So, are they kind of hinting by saying that? You know, because otherwise, why acknowledge it at all?
Yeah.
So anyway, Martin.
Let's
Nick
see.
thinks.
Okay, so there was a news. Well, okay, so the games are, I think, already been announced that they're doing this, but we haven't seen anything. But Sega's going to show the Panzer Dragoon remake. So that was a Sega Saturn game where it was like on rails.
Yeah.
Really popular series. They're remaking it, and at E3, I think they're going to have video of it at least. That's my hope.
So the original Panzer Dragoon game that came out for the Saturn, they're going to do like a HD remake of that game. Now, are you saying there's rumors that it's already
There's a press release that they're already working on it.
Is it Sega that's doing it, or like another?
I think Sega's doing it. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you're calling that they'll make an announcement, but what as far as like?
I'm calling that they're going to show video of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So gameplay.
Show
video.
gameplay. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now that was a. Why did I put E3 Panzer Dragoon? Just like, Panzer Dragoon, like HD remake.
Yes.
That was a cool game.
Yes.
And that's a game too that I've learned since that they didn't. What's the story with Panzer Dragoon? Like they released it, but they only made so many copies of it, So it's a rare game. So it's a real notable game.
Yeah.
It's a game that they promoted pretty heavily, and I think a lot of people liked it. Critically, it was really revered, and fans seemed to like it. But it's like they just made a run of it, and they never made it anymore.
The third one, the first one, I think they've got decent copies. The second one, you could still pick that up, but the third one is extremely rare.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that makes more sense because that first one, everybody knew about it. So,
Right.
why would they not?
I think it was even like a pack-in or something.
It wasn't. Well,
At one point, it might have
maybe
been,
at one
but
point, way down the maybe it was like one of those like you get these 4 games, and like maybe that was one of them.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
I would really like to play that again with updated graphics.
It'll be PS4, Xbox One.
HD remakes are just kind of a thing now. Like they're less fan servicey and just more reality. Like we just learned that there's going to be a Ghostbusters HD remake, the one that came out for like PlayStation 3 and 360.
Yeah.
And you were like, man, that wasn't even that long ago.
That was in 09.
Well, it was 10 years.
10 years
Oh,
ago.
wow. So okay, that's been 10 years.
Yeah, I looked at like you say 09, so I looked it up later and I was like, wow, it's been 10
So it's
years.
been longer than I thought.
Like a remake,
it doesn't seem like that long ago.
It does
really
not.
doesn't. And I'm excited about that because I didn't really play it.
Yeah. I own it. I didn't really go through it. So.
Oh man,
I
I
always
played
read
it a couple
didn't
times.
play very well. Like I like the story I read was awesome, but I read it just didn't play very good. So that might have frustrated some people. Like
I played through it a couple times. I loved it.
not to you, huh? Cool. All right. So Nick, have you given it any more thought, or do you need to keep passing and go to the next one?
Well, I mean, it feels kind of cheap to just kind of copy what you all said, but I agree that Dante seems like a good choice.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's gonna be some licensed character, not some like Nintendo first party character.
Right.
Yeah.
So it seems like a good fit.
Okay.
Is Mega Man on there right now?
He is. Yeah.
Oh, he is. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So it's my turn, I guess.
Over to you.
Let's see. Now I've done a couple. Well, I've did one Nintendo, one Microsoft so far. So, okay. Speaking of ports, I believe that there will be an announcement that Resident Evil 7 will get a port for the Switch.
Well, it's actually on the Switch in Japan as a streaming game.
Is it?
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Interesting.
Well, I think they'll make a physical copy release of it, and
Okay.
it'll be like a thing. So, and why not? This is kind of a no-brainer, but
And it could use the cardboard VR.
it totally could,
Yeah.
because of the PSVR, the entire game was playable in VR.
Because also Assassin's Creed Odyssey is streamable in Japan on Switch.
All I gotta say is, will somebody, third party, I don't care who, somebody just make some kind of a strap so you can put the thing on your head.
It's gotta
checked
happen
Amazon
sooner or
yet?
later.
And honestly, I haven't looked. So
Here's the
I
thing,
don't
too,
know,
though,
man.
because like whatever third-party solution is going to cause you to have to do damage to that cardboard, right?
Well, it's got
No.
like little plastic.
Just sell a plastic holder for it.
Surely.
Oh, you're
thing,
right.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, and surely they
Surely,
can make
yeah,
something
third party
that,
be a little more elegant.
Right.
Punch a hole in it, tie a shoe straight through, bam.
well, because those little like plastic rings that are on both sides.
Yeah,
Surely
the
you
yellow
can make
rings
something
or
that
whatever.
snaps into those, or
I
I don't
guess.
know, something.
I
Just make
guess.
something.
But who's gonna want to play that VR for that long to put a strap? I mean, just so you don't have to hold it up. Even if you do just play it for 10 minutes.
Well, but it's awful, like holding it up to your
I know.
face.
Here, they could have like a
With-
slider thing that it goes in, locks in. That
Oh, that's
way or
true. That's
something.
very true. Yeah.
Because like the worst thing is like you gotta have the Joy-Con attached to it so that you got controls. So you can't play with controls. Yeah,
So stupid.
So you gotta have it like so you can actually move like
Yeah.
up in your face. Like
It's
this.
the most awkward thing ever.
So
Like I give them all the credit
It's
in the
pretty
world.
much Virtual Boy, right?
it is.
Yeah, it is.
That's
a
what they
Virtual
need.
Boy.
They need like the Virtual Boy stand. So that have the Virtual Boy stand.
Nice.
So just put the Switch in that. So that way you can at least just have the controls at a comfortable level and look at
Yeah,
it.
so at least you're not holding it up.
Yeah.
We need to make that and sell it on Amazon. There
3D
you go.
print
3D
that
print
bad
it,
boy.
exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, people
exactly.
could 3D
I'll
print
get
that and
on
sell them
that.
on Etsy for like $10. Why not?
I mean, because that's just the worst. Is just holding controls up in your face like that.
How is that not a Kickstarter? Like somebody needs to go build that crap.
We should probably go look on Kickstarters. Yeah, there might be something out there we still know about yet.
In the comments.
Yeah, if you know anything about a strap for your VR cardboard,
it's fine for the bazooka game.
Yeah,
that's hella fun.
It's really cool.
You know, you're
the best experience. Yeah,
and pulling the trigger, and I mean that works, but everything else is.
It's Nintendo being silly, man. It's just their toy company roots. All right, so now we've each done full 3 predictions, and so far nothing too outrageous. I don't think we're all. I wouldn't say playing it safe, but these are all 9. Well, except for my Star Fox 3. That one's kind of a reach, but maybe not.
It's so.
It makes
specific.
Sense.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I want the credit if it happens, man. I want to look good, and I always reach, and I always look horrible when it's all said and done. We know how bad I am at these by now, so. But I like to pretend, It sounds good coming from my lips.
Yeah.
Okay, Nick, what's your 4th?
What's my 4th? I say, well. Everything else I have is all Nintendo things, really.
Mm-hmm. That's fine.
Well, aside from...
I mean, Nintendo is what I care about, but, I mean, I was just trying to, come up with... I mean, I like Xbox, too.
Well, and it's like I said with the Smash Brother thing, though. It's like, they do their Nintendo Direct whenever they please. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I don't know.
They have at least 4 or 5 a year, it seems like.
Yeah, so, we already know that Animal Crossing is coming, yep. So... I feel like we'll see something about the new Animal Crossing. I don't know. Mm-hmm. And I really
we haven't seen any gameplay.
We haven't seen anything at all, just that it's coming.
Yeah.
And
so you think they'll have gameplay?
I don't know how they would change it up, but I hope that something about this new Switch Animal Crossing is, I don't know, something that makes it fresh. And they always have some sort of gimmick every time. Like, I forget, the order of the games, but there was, the next one that came on, 3DS or something the one on the Wii, I don't know, like I say, I don't know the order, but, the one on the Wii, the gimmick was, it had a microphone, you could talk. Mm-hmm.
I never played that one.
And the Wii or the Wii U?
City folk, you could go to the city. I think that was, the gimmick on that one. Mm. The Wii U...
Because it had,
The Wii U didn't even have one, did it?
It had just, a demo.
There was one on the 3DS. There was one on the Wii.
Oh, you're saying there was not an Animal Crossing game for the Wii U?
I don't think so.
Okay. I mean, you guys would know. Animal Crossing has never been my thing. And, I like to think it's popular. There's been many games. I always feel like I want to be in on the conversation and the fun, but I just know I'm not.
There's always been some kind of new gimmick, but the core game has always been exactly the same. You're always, and we both play it regardless, but you're always collecting the same furniture and the same bugs.
Well, there's the mobile game.
I was gonna say even the mobile game is basically the same thing, right?
It's
the phone game.
Yeah,
Yeah. Ruth still plays it.
Oh.
I downloaded it and I was like, neat. Yeah. And I don't play it anymore, right. But yeah, Ruth plays it.
I still play War for Cybertron, the Transformers game.
Oh yeah.
Every day.
Oh, I do too.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It is good.
Can I piggyback off your prediction just a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
I think that, yes, obviously we're going to get the Animal Crossing game. I think that we will possibly see more a fleshed out announcement for this smaller Wii, the Switch, the new Switch, the Mini, or the portable Switch, I guess.
Yeah.
I think they'll maybe tie in that announcement with Animal Crossing somehow. Possibly give you an Animal Crossing themed portable only Switch, or again, like we said, there's got to be a switching functionality to it. It can't just be portable, but I think I could see them doing that.
Yeah, they'll probably have some Joy-Con with Animal Crossing characters.
Yeah, a bundle, then it'll have the logos or some sort of of the characters, the little dog or something. There's always that little dog.
Tom Nook and Isabelle.
You guys remember was it the Game Boy Advance Mini? Where you could exchange the shell. It had different themes. Yeah. I wonder if they'll do that with the Switch Mini.
That reminds me of those Xbox 360 plates they used to sell. You could customize those.
Yeah.
I miss little things like that.
Well, and they did that for the wasn't it the new 3DS or something in Japan? You could switch out the cover shells.
Yeah, like you could in Japan, but not here or
Yeah.
something.
What the hell? Hey, speaking of Japan and, well, Europe only too, I guess. For Mario Maker, they get a stylus, but we
Right,
don't.
I know.
That's horseshit, Nintendo.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they get a stylus, but we don't.
Boo.
I know. Well, people from Europe are like, screw you guys, because we always get shafted on the little exclusives anyway. So for a
We're
change,
not
we get
refined
something.
enough for a stylus.
Well, I mean, it's
We'll
only a
just
couple
lose
dollars
it.
worth of plastic, I guess, but still, I want the damn stylus. Okay, so Animal Crossing, probably a date then, I guess, right? What would you say with the date? So some gameplay.
I don't know. Maybe fairly soon. Like maybe that might be. I don't know. Summer. We're in summer now, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
coming
like
up on
I feel
summer.
like it'll be coming pretty soon though.
I think it'll be 2019, yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll just say summer. They'll
Fall
just
or
say
winter?
summer
Fall or
2000.
winter?
late summer.
Late summer.
Yeah.
Do you think they might just say
Fall.
August or September?
Yeah.
I don't know. If I feel like every time you say like summer, they really mean like
The end of
the
summer.
very beginning of fall. You know?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So okay. Well, let's just say summer.
They gotta
We'll just
push
say
it.
summer release. And maybe they'll say like August 30th or something like that.
Yeah.
Who knows? Okay, that's a good one. Martin.
Kind of talking about the Switch Mini.
Yeah.
I think I'm really kind of torn because on one hand it makes sense, on the other hand it doesn't make sense to have a Switch Mini.
I know.
Um,
It's really weird.
it
But
is
that's the one
weird.
they're like certain's going to happen like this year.
and the reason I think it makes sense is because they're not coming out with any new games for the 3DS. And
Yeah.
it's
The
kinda-
3DS is more or less
It's
done.
going away, right?
It's going away finally. Yeah.
But I think they need a cheaper Switch as like a 3DS replacement for the younger kids.
Mhm.
That's more durable and those kind of things.
Yeah, I do. I like the fact that, probably no detachable Joy-Cons, and if so, no HD rumble for sure.
Yeah,
Like it's going to be very bare bones.
right.
Like what price do you think they're thinking about? If you had to guess. So yeah, we
So
think
what's a Switch running for these days?
300 still.
300?
Yeah. Still $299.
Gosh, $199.
$199?
Yeah.
That seems I feel like that's pretty fair.
That's
Because,
for
if
another
they're going with the
$100,
same,
you can-
especially if they're using just the same internal stuff.
Yeah,
You know?
if they can even cut it down to that, but yeah.
Okay, so, and what do you think they'll call it?
Switch Go.
Oh, okay. Switch Go. $199. Available when?
Today, I don't know.
Really? No, they wouldn't release
Well-
hardware like that.
Yeah, they might.
You think?
Yeah. Let's
Well,
go
I think
for
the
it.
reports were like saying summertime. If I remember correctly, they were like, it's going to happen in the summer.
Probably. Well, what did they do on that? New
And summer makes
3DS?
sense too, because like you're going to be out and out and about, and you got your little like cheaper, more portable version. I don't know.
Yeah, probably
Maybe something
summer.
like you
Probably
can actually
summer.
fit it in your pocket.
Yeah.
Because the Switch, like unless you got those big old jeans, you can't really get it in your pocket.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I'd be curious. That's gonna be way out there because the $199 is gonna undercut their current system. But
not if it's cheaper.
Yeah.
Like if it's a less quality build.
Right.
I don't
There'd
necessarily
have to be like some kind of reason that you'd want the
because for
main one.
$299 you still get a dock. It's all like got the HD
oh no,
rumble.
no dock.
Yeah,
It's
no
just the
dock.
handheld.
Yeah, totally cheap.
No ability to play it on the screen. Maybe that's like the reason. Like you might choose the big one over the little one.
And I still don't understand. I
Yeah,
don't
I
think
haven't
they.
thought about that.
Yes, I get that, but it's like they can't call it a Switch anymore.
I think you can dock it, but it doesn't come with the dock. You'll have to buy that,
Yes.
and then obviously you can't use the Joy Cons. You have to use. You have
It'll
to buy
be
the
a
Pro.
different form factor. You'll have
Yeah.
to buy a different dock. Like it won't work
You
with
think
your
so?
old dock.
I hope it's the same.
It's
dock.
Nintendo, dude. Yes.
Yeah.
They're
So-
gonna if
some-
they made
something
you
like
buy
that.
a different
Oh,
power
gosh.
adapter for like the new 3DS, like or maybe they make you buy a new, but you had to buy
Well,
one.
yeah. It didn't come with one.
Yeah.
It was the same as the old 3DS, but it just didn't even come with one.
Yeah, okay. So you could have still technically used your old one.
Yeah, which is what happened for me. Like I didn't have to buy one because I didn't trade in my other 3DS, so I still had an adapter.
Gotcha. And I didn't have one. I bought No, I traded it in.
So when you traded it in,
I had to go out and get one.
You take the plug with it,
Right.
and so then now you got to go buy an adapter.
I did have a thought. So what if the rumors were completely like a 180 and it's truly just going to be a Game Boy Advance Classic?
A what now?
A Game Boy Advanced Classic.
You mean like of their classic, like
you
the
know how
NES Classic,
NES,
Super Nintendo Classic?
It's going to be a Game Boy Advance Classic.
That's way out of left
That's
field.
way out
So it's
there,
like a
but
Game Boy Advance, but it just has all the games
It
built
has the
in.
games on there and it's portable.
Hmm.
Then maybe that's the supposed
I mean, that can be like you're like, I'm just throwing it out there.
That's my throwing it
Yeah,
out
okay.
there. That's my
You're
throwing
still
it.
officially going with the Switch
Yeah,
Go, right,
yeah,
for $199.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know, maybe. Possibly.
You think they?
I'm still waiting on that N64 Classic, that they even had like leaked box art, which, obviously wasn't real, but
You think they'd make the jump to Game Boy Advance Classic before Game Boy?
I know, right?
Probably.
Because they trade.
What if you could play the Game Boy games on that?
Which and you could
Yeah.
on the Advance.
Yeah.
Remember
Game Boy
after the Super
Color, and
Nintendo
we
Classic
have the
was out
others.
and people were like, oh, well, N64 is the next thing, surely. Nintendo had re-registered the trademark for the Game Boy. And so then people started speculating, oh, a Game Boy Classic's coming out. I could still see that more.
Yeah.
But if there was a Game Boy Advance Classic,
I don't know which form factor though.
that's exactly
There's like two different ones, right? So,
because everybody loves the
clamshell,
SP.
yeah.
The SP was like the best design.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never cared for the original one all
Yeah.
that much. I guess it was fun at the time, and I never owned one either.
Well, it wasn't backlit either. that's
It
the
would
problem.
finally have a decent screen,
Yes.
but still the SP was so nice.
I'd buy one of those because there's so many good advanced
And
games.
see, the SP is closer to form factor to the original Game Boy, so
Yeah.
they could have the black and white ones or the green screen versions on there.
It's fun to think about. Well, I've never heard that. You heard it here first from Martin. If they do an
Write it down.
advance,
Write it
like they
down.
just skip Game Boy and N64 and do an advance, nobody would see that coming. That'd be great. Okay, we're back to me again. Okay, so Team Ninja is releasing Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3.
Yep.
So that's kind of like they've been working on that, and it's coming out
That's on Switch, right?
for Switch exclusive, yeah,
Exclusive,
which
yeah.
looks cool. I'm into that. I think they'll announce their next project is going to be the triumphant return of Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
I think Team Ninja they've already been working on it because that's just how they do. Like they're wrapping up the game that's coming out. They got the new one already working.
What was it? We were talking about like the original Xbox when we were
Black.
talking about Ninja Gaiden Black.
Yeah.
And like I went home and I tried playing it.
Yeah.
Because
Does it still hold
we
up?
kind of talked about how when I played it back in the day I never
Well,
got past
we
the
went
first
upstairs
board.
and played it a little bit too because
Oh,
like
yeah,
you
we
had
did.
the
We played
Xbox
here.
game, so we loaded it up. It was backwards compatible,
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
and I played it at home
which
too.
we didn't expect. It just happened.
Yeah, I went and I played it at home. Yeah, that's what it was because we found out like I could just download
Yep.
it.
I got to keep the game. Like it's not even like I needed the disc anymore. Like I just had it.
We
Really?
just because
Yeah.
I had brought my game because we have little props, and then so I'd brought it up here just to sit on the table. And when we popped it in his system, it downloaded it, and he got to keep it, and he can still play it now,
Wow,
even though
that's
he
cool.
doesn't have the disc.
Yeah.
And so
Pretty cool.
So then when I got home, I did the same thing. So it's on my system.
Yeah.
And I have Game Pass, by the way, and that's a game that's on Game Pass. So like I would have had it anyway from
Oh,
that.
okay.
But that's pretty cool to know.
But I still didn't get past the first boss.
it's a damn hard game, man. And
That dude
we were
with the
going through it at
nunchucks,
first, like,
man.
yes. That's exactly right. You forget. You're like, oh, well, maybe I'm better at games now. Like I'm just breezing through. And then, yeah, you get to that friggin' guy. Because I was doing the same thing.
I don't know. Maybe everybody else in the world is just like, you suck.
No, yeah, there's no doubt. I'm not good at video games. I love them. I'll play all of them, but I'm not a skilled gamer.
I mean, I try all kinds of different ways. Like I try to block and then counterattack, or I just try to go all out or whatever. And that dude with the nunchucks, man, kills me every time.
Bastard. But yeah, I think Team Ninja is going to come out, and it's going to be a new, like, it'll probably be a new series where there'll be multiple sequels to it and revisions, and I think they'll call it something like Ninja Gaiden Returns or Ninja Gaiden Legacy, or I don't know, something.
Which system?
Oh, Microsoft.
Exclusive.
It'll be a Microsoft timed exclusive. I don't think it'll be like those dead what's those zombie games that Capcom would make for them.
Dead Rising?
Yeah, Dead Rising. I think it'll be a timed exclusive because, I mean, Tecmo is not going to just exclusively. I mean, they did it. They had the Xbox games. Remember, we were having that conversation, which is why we were talking about Ninja Gaiden, I guess. I think they would probably do a timed exclusive with them. I think you'll see it for Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox eventually. So that's mine.
Wow.
My number 4, Ninja Gaiden, a new Ninja Gaiden series.
Yeah, and Switch just recently had the arcade version.
That's right, yeah.
Just come out.
It's so funny, as people were so bent out of shape about not getting a virtual console, but it's there.
There are so many arcade games, though.
It feels like the old Wii virtual console. There's so many arcade games.
Mm-hmm. Those, what do they call it, like ACA?
Arcade archives. And
yeah,
so it seems like every week, and they just stealth drop them too. Like there's no fanfare whatsoever.
Yeah.
Just they're there. They're just there.
I like those. I mean, that's the majority of games I've got on my Switch are those arcade games.
Yeah, well, they're still fun to play. And that old arcade, the non NES version that we all got spoon-fed and we enjoyed, they're fun.
Probably most of them are Neo Geo.
A lot of Neo. Those are like the first games that always get released.
And there's a handful of like Data East games.
Yeah.
And some first-party Nintendo.
They're not all winners for sure. And sometimes they're games I've never even heard of.
Hey, you know what they're missing on there? They need to get that Popeye game.
Oh yeah.
The Nintendo Popeye?
Yeah, the Nintendo arcade Popeye.
Has that ever been on a virtual console?
I don't think so.
That'd be cool.
I mean, maybe like the NES version.
I wonder how hard of rights how hard it would be to get those rights for Popeye.
I mean, there's already been a few.
Who gives a crap about Popeye?
A few of those Nintendo arcade games that have never, like, what was it, Mario Brothers?
Versus.
Yeah.
Well, Versus Mario, but I'm talking about the original Mario Brothers, that the arcade version.
Oh, yeah. Super Mario Brothers. Well, Super Mario Brothers Versus. Is that what you're talking about?
No, Mario Brothers.
Okay. That's what I thought you meant at first, but then I
agree. Versus Super Mario Bros. Also, it's true for that too. Yeah. But I'm talking about Mario Brothers.
Well, a lot of those Versus games had never come out for anything.
But I mean, it's always been the NES port, never the arcade version.
Yeah. Cool. And we've kind of gone through all those Versus games.
You're not bitter about that, are you?
No, I just think it's cool.
It is cool.
Oh, okay.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
And Donkey Kong, we got the true Donkey Kong.
There's been a handful of those games where it's the first time they've ever been released.
Right.
Why not Popeye?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
Okay. All right, Nick, you're up, man. It's your turn. I love it when Nick gets frustrated with me. That's not what I'm saying.
How many times do I have to say? You mean Versus? No, Mario Brothers.
Number 5.
We'll see some more Link's Awakening. I mean,
okay.
I think that's coming around the corner. I think that's pretty well done, I think.
We just know it's 2019. Like, we just learned that Cadence game or whatever, like Link's Cadence, Zelda Cadence.
I mean, when they kind of dropped the bomb, what was it, like a few months ago?
Yeah. It was pretty recent.
When they showed that gameplay footage then,
of Link on the raft.
That's a smaller game anyway,
it's a smaller game, and they've been working on that for a while.
You could tell.
So it's pretty much done, I think.
Now, do you think it will be a one-for-one, like, story gameplay, or will they take liberty and change and add new things to it?
That game's pretty big, though, right?
I imagine they'll change a little bit.
Yeah.
Change a little bit to take advantage of Switch features, or just...
I don't know.
They'll probably add something or other to take advantage of something.
VR.
Yeah, VR.
Dungeons are in VR mode.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll have the Zelda Dungeon Builder.
Oh my god, I
maybe.
want that so bad.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah. I mean, I think just because they've already shown as much as they have, that
Well, they've shown little. I feel like it was a quick reveal. Like I don't think
Yeah.
they spent a whole lot of time on
They
it.
didn't have enough time, I don't think.
But I could see this being a game they play a lot in the Treehouse event. You know,
Probably.
so we know the cadence. I'm sorry, I can't think of the
The
name.
poor treehouse of that.
Yeah, for whatever that one's called. But so that we know is coming out at the end of June. So when do you think this will be coming out?
oh, I don't know.
Definitely 2019, right?
Yeah.
Well, they've already said that, I think.
Right after the direct.
Oh, they're not going to do that. That would be awesome.
I feel like it could be soon, though.
I do think
Yeah.
very
But
soon.
would they release two games that close together? Even though they're not both. It's not like two new games, but it's
Which
kind of
ones?
like two new games.
I don't know.
Well, there's
Zelda themed
that
game?
rhythm game that's coming out
They're
in June.
different enough.
I don't think I don't think they'll just drop the like boom. It's right here.
God, I would love that so much.
But
Because I never beat that one. I think that's the only like
I don't know.
overhead
August,
Zelda game I didn't beat.
August. I don't
Well,
know.
some of those Capcom games that came out. August, you think?
Yeah.
Okay, August. That seems pretty reasonable. All right, Martin, your turn.
I think there's going to be another Mario crossover title. I don't know
Give it to
exactly
me, give
what
me.
it'll be. I think it might be with Capcom,
Mario Cross Mega Man.
and I think it might be Mega Man.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
No, what? Like, how would that work?
I don't know, but I think it would be pretty damn cool.
So, like, okay,
Mario gets
you're blowing
like,
my mind a little
yeah.
bit with Mega Man. So, would it play like a? So you're well, guess, speculate then.
Yeah,
Like, would it
yeah,
be
I
a
don't-
platformer or would it be something like Mega Man Legends, where it's kind of RPG based?
I think it would probably have to be more like a like the 3D Mario game on Wii U, but it's stuck at that certain perspective. What was the one with the cat suits?
Cat Mario.
Mario Cat.
Yeah,
Mario Cat.
3D World.
3D,
3D
World.
World.
It'd
Yeah.
be like 3D World,
That's-
but with
Oh, that'd be
Mega Man and-
cool.
Yeah,
That'd be
I
really
only
cool.
say that because that's what Logan calls it.
Yeah, I know. That's the only reason I call
Mario
it that
Cat.
too.
Mario Cat.
Well, he's gonna be excited that they got the Mario Cat, but in like the 2D kind of, in the Mario
oh
Maker.
yeah, you
Yeah.
can make it on levels, yeah.
Yes, Mario Cat's back. So you're thinking a new Mario crossover game, possibly with Capcom.
I'm thinking Capcom.
You're thinking Capcom this time.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna have a crossover with Mega Man, though, you really think it'd be in 3D?
Well, I mean, the most recent Mega Man games have been in 3D.
Have
The
they?
most
Well, there was
recent- the most
new
recent
one that
one
came
and the
out was like
PlayStation
pseudo.
ones
It
are
was like
3D.
2.5, but
What are you
And
talking
that's what-
about?
Mega Man 11.
Mega Man.
Mega-
Yeah, the one on the
Mega Man 11's
Uh,
like a 2D, like it's
What are you
got
talking
like
about, like
the one that
Legends,
just
the RPGs.
11. No, 11 is 3D game, but it's
when you
2D
say
view.
3D, I'm thinking like you can move anywhere in a
Oh,
world.
I'm thinking like
Oh,
sprites
well,
versus 3D
yeah, I mean,
geometry.
it'll be.
It's just not straight
it'll
pixels.
be 3D.
Right? Yeah, it's not straight pixels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I get that.
Okay.
It would. They're not gonna like hand draw some artwork and pixels and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
gonna
that
be
would be
3D
awesome.
models.
Oh yeah.
3D
yeah.
models, but 2D,
2D gameplay.
platforming style.
Yeah, side scroller type.
Would it be great if like they had a reveal of Mario putting on like a suit, like a
Yes.
Mega Man suit,
Yeah.
That would be
with his little
awesome.
mustache and coming out? That would be
And then
awesome.
he's got the blaster.
Kind of like with Mario plus Rabbids. He's
Yeah, I
already we're
know,
used to
that's
seeing
why
him
I
with
saw
that blaster.
Yeah.
Kind of has a Mega Man like feel to it, doesn't it? All right. Well, we'll just that
Anything's
that one's
possible.
kind of a
Anything's
like we're
possible.
reaching a bit, but be super awesome if it happened. So partnership, new Mario crossover game / partnership.
I mean, they're super open to new.
They really are.
partnerships, So yeah.
They've been playing ball with other companies. Okay.
They should make that fan made Mega Man cross Street Fighter that they've kind of embraced and made it playable like on their website and whatever. They should make that like playable on Switch or something.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll ever happen, but it'd be nice.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Okay, so here's my next one since I'm up. This is going to be a safe one because I think a lot of people are kind of assuming this is going to probably happen. But so yeah, Scalebound, who Platinum Games was working on, was all pretty heavily hyped. It was going to be a Microsoft exclusive,
what
and it
happened
got
to that?
dropped. And then there were all kinds of rumors abound that it was getting picked back up again. and possibly coming out for the Nintendo Switch. And Platinum Games obviously has a pretty awesome partnership with Nintendo as it stands right now, with like your Bayonetta games, and that they got the new IP that's coming out, like I forget what it's called, but it's kind of got like a futuristic look to it. So I'm thinking, we'll just go ahead and say that Scalebound is going to get announced, but it's going to be a ways off, like 2020.
Okay.
So I'm going to say Scalebound Nintendo Switch 2020.
Okay.
And it wouldn't surprise me if, well, I don't know how like graphic intensive that game was going to be, but I feel like if they're going to announce like a new Switch Pro thing, there's going to be like some games that are going to be more graphic intensive, just a little bit more. Like I could see like it only would play on a new Nintendo, like it wouldn't play on like the current version. But that would mean they'd have to make an announcement for the new Pro version of Switch, because I don't guess they're going to do that.
I think if they did something like a Pro, it would basically be exactly what you own, but it would have a bigger battery so they could run it at a higher clock speed.
It'll have a new chip, less bezel, bigger battery,
right?
Internal voice capability, like voice chat capability, like whatever limitations they were. Well, that really surprises me. You're telling me earlier, I don't think it was not on air, but you were talking about the overclocking, or not overclocking, more like way underclocking.
Right.
That it's capable at, what did you say it was?
I think at least 800.
Yeah, and then it's only running at what, 3 something now?
Like undocked, it's around 300. When it's docked, it's around 500.
So like 60%.
Well, and even like the PlayStation PSP Portable, it was in the very first years. I think it was only running like half of whatever the performance was.
Okay.
So
I mean, I understand they don't want to push it to the limit and burn it out.
Right.
Have switches catching on fire and stuff in people's briefcase and luggage. But it did surprise me a little bit that they were like that far under. So yeah, I'm going to say Scalebound announcement, like an official Scalebound announcement, and people will go, of course, we heard that was going to happen. I'll say 2020. It's going to be a game like they're going to push. It'll be towards the end of the the current Switch life cycle before any new hardware comes out. And they may say like it'll run better on the new Switch, because that was a thing that the 3DS was like, you had to have it to play Super Nintendo games, but games like that Hyrule fighting game, Hyrule Warriors, kind of ran like crap on the old 3DS, but on the new 3DS it ran really good,
right,
like buttery smooth on that. But yeah, that's mine. Nick, you're up, buddy.
I think I'm out.
Are you out?
Oh,
Yeah.
Do you want to do your pie in the sky? We'll just end with pie in the skies.
Well, the only thing that I didn't say was just kind of a repeat of last year, but it's also a Sony related thing. So, we already know Sony's not in it. I mean, it's not Sony first party that's making it, but anyway, like I thought there'd be a Shenmue 3 demo. There wasn't, so kind of still thinking one may come at some point. I don't know.
That's a tricky one,
possible.
because it's not like it's just the one company. Is it just one guy that's making this game, or does he have a team?
No, he's got a team.
He's got a team. Okay.
Yeah, he's got a team, but
Poor guy.
That's why it's taking so long.
Yeah, it's really just up to them whenever they decide that they're ready for such a thing, and if they get ready around E3, I'm sure that they may strive to do that, and so who knows,
That'll be a one of those state of plays.
Could be,
with no Sony there, and we know it's a Sony exclusive, right?
Yeah.
So, you're not going to see that.
Yeah, Sony's not making it, but it's an exclusive to them.
So for all intents and purposes, there's nobody there to promote it. It would be silly for them to show up.
Yeah. Right? So I really don't think anything will happen, but I do, I'm sure they'll have a demo at some point when they're ready for it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think so too. So do you have a wish pick?
Well, my pie in the sky is just that, like I said before, I've already accepted it'll never happen. But
what is it?
I wish
Street Fighter.
the Street Fighter Cross Tekken would actually happen.
Is it X or X Cross,
no,
or is it actually spelled out Cross?
Is it Tekken Cross Street Fighter? Which one actually came out? I forget who put their name first.
I think you were telling me that it's it's Namco's turn.
Well, it's Namco's version.
Yeah.
However, and I'm
Who
trying
gets
to,
top billing?
I'm trying to remember if like they're nice and like for Capcom's version
Oh, yeah.
they let
like a nice
they let
host.
Tekken go first, but I feel like Street Fighter came first. So I think Capcom's version was Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and then Namco's is Tekken Cross Street Fighter. But yeah.
Okay.
And I actually saw like a picture.
If you just keep saying it, it may happen eventually, right?
Well, years and years ago, they actually even had a picture of like Ryu or somebody, and they were like, "Yes, it's still happening," but no, it's not. What I think did happen is when they had the deal with Tekken 7 and Akuma was in Tekken 7. I think that ended up being our Tekken Cross Street Fighter.
Gotcha.
And also they even got SNK. Did you know that? They've got Geese Howard from King of Fighters.
I had no idea.
In
It's
Tekken
not on my
7
radar
also.
like it as much as yours, but that's cool.
Not Geese.
Hey,
Yeah.
speaking of SNK, isn't there like a new like Samurai Showdown game that came out?
Oh,
recently?
that
you were
looks
telling me about
amazing. And it's
like-
not out yet. It's coming
Okay.
out in June. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Is that coming out for all the systems?
Yeah, I think
I'll have
so.
to like look that up
I
because
think-
I just heard.
I don't know
that
about
was-
Switch. But,
Come on.
yeah, but
Damn it.
I think it's both.
Shouldn't be holding my breath for a
PlayStation and
Switch port at
Xbox.
this point. Okay. All right, Martin. We'll just do your pie in the sky pick then.
Okay. Well, I think one of my pie in the skies. Well, I think the crossover might have been the pie in the sky, but.
Oh. Do you have another regular
yeah,
pick then?
I mean, one from last year was the Metroid Prime HD trilogy.
Gotcha. That definitely feels like a certainty.
Maybe we won't get all three, but it'd be nice to get the original one.
I think we'll get the trilogy remake, like HD
Nice.
remake.
If they can squeeze it onto one cart, I mean, I guess that's.
That doesn't matter because they can like have the first game on the cart and download the other two because
Right.
they do that crap.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah, they were doing that with was it the Resident Evil
Yeah,
game?
the Resident Evil games with the Final Fantasy, like one of the Final
Nintendo
Fantasy.
always paints themselves in the
10, I
corner
think.
with media, so that wouldn't surprise me if they just had like the first game on the disc and then the other two were download only.
I can see that coming out though to satisfy people waiting for the new one.
To get over that disappointment because they were saying all along that it was going to be a 2019 game.
Mm.
I want to know what the hell went wrong, man. It must have
I'd
just
love to
been
see what
really
it looked
bad.
like.
They're not going to show us ever, but
Yeah.
They burned that footage.
Yeah, that's like the Kennedy assassination footage right there. They're just going to put that in a vault, lock and key. You can see it in 60 years when everybody's dead. All right, so that leaves my. So that's one of your actual picks.
Yeah.
Your pie in the sky was your crossover.
Yeah.
So my pie in the sky is okay. So Konami's been releasing a lot of these collections. They got the Castlevania collection. They had their arcade collection, and then they just announced their Contra collection.
Oh yeah.
My pie in the sky pick is they release a Konami like IP driven beat 'em ups. Turtles, Simpsons.
Man, that's a
X-Men.
pie in the
That's
sky.
definitely pie
I
in the sky.
know, but it's why it's called a pie in the sky. And
Man, wouldn't it be great though to have a collection with the Ninja Turtle arcade game and Ninja Turtles 2? Because like
Yes.
when they made that, they
yes, and
redid
Turtles too.
Turtles
in
2
Time,
a
yes.
while back. It was so disappointing in a way with the
I didn't.
redone
Yeah,
graphics.
yes, you're right.
I really, really wanted like a mode to have the original graphics. Like
Yes.
the redone, it was like, oh great,
I was
thanks,
like-
I
Yeah.
appreciate it, but man, give me the original.
I was so turned off by that because when Xbox Live was a thing and they released the original Turtles game, it was like perfect.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And the Simpsons one, they were perfect.
Yeah.
So just give us Konami, one more. Just
Wait.
give us one more collection.
They did Simpsons?
Yeah, Simpsons
I know
was
they did
available on
X-Men.
Xbox Live.
X-Men,
Really?
I know.
Oh, okay.
Did they do X-Men? Because
Yeah.
that was one I wasn't sure about.
Yeah, they did X-Men. It's Simpsons. I'm questioning.
Yeah, I didn't realize. The
It
Simpsons
was.
on
It
there.
was. Trust me, it was.
Yeah.
Because that's one of those games where I think it was backwards compatible, but like you can't get it from Xbox Live anymore.
Yeah.
Is it on the Game Pass?
No.
Oh, darn.
No. It was just it was on 360. They released it for 360.
Yeah, and include like Sunset Riders on there.
Yep. Well, I mean, that's not a licensed game, but it's a multiplayer game.
Well, but
It's
it's
essentially we're
Konami.
talking, but yeah, it's Konami. But my thought was like the licensed games. Those are the ones I want the most. But yeah, they could throw Sunset
The
Riders. on there.
Konami 4-player beat 'em up collection.
Yeah, the Konami 3 to 6 player, whatever. Because they could. What was X-Men up to 6?
X-Men was 6.
Yeah, so they could do 6. They could do it.
Everything else was 4. X-Men was 6.
Yeah, 4. Right. That was the standard. Configuration for most of their famous ones. So I'm going to put that down. Konami, multiplayer beat 'em ups. Because I was really let down by the arcade collection they released.
That it's too bad that this wasn't on that Capcom. What do they call theirs? Capcom.
It was called like beat 'em up something or other.
Something or other.
Yeah.
I bought it. It's awesome.
Because Alien vs Predator is not on that, right?
No.
But it is on that joystick thing that's.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
And
yeah.
So that's pretty cool that they
That
actually
friggin'
have that
arcade mini, whatever they want to call it. Capcom Arcade Mini.
Oh, that looks like the Capcom logo.
Yes, it's the
Oh,
Capcom logo.
horrible.
And it's like $200.
Yeah, that's
Too much money.
very strange move, I think.
It is weird.
I mean, the collection of games is cool and all, but
It's fine. I'm recommending that Capcom beat 'em up. It was on sale in the eShop.
Yeah.
Picked it up. It's great because you can just do unlimited continues. You just beat the whole game.
Nice.
So Logan and I, we went through Final Fight. We went through one of the wizardy type games, and we started.
Knights of the Round.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah,
couple
yeah.
of those games that are in that same genre of fantasy. We haven't done the Captain Commando one. I think is one of them that's on there.
Right.
Yeah.
We haven't done that one. It looks cool. I never played that one either. But
it's got like the baby and the mech.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the one we did start playing but haven't beaten yet was the one with most of the mechs. It's like all like robots and
Oh,
It's
yeah.
interesting.
Cyber something.
can't remember. I'd never heard of it ever until I saw the list from the beat 'em ups when they announced it last year, and I was like, "What the hell's this game?" So I tried it. I don't like it really. I think there's a reason why we haven't beaten it yet. Like we're just kind of powering through. But it is interesting in a way though because you beat up other robots and they drop parts like on the floor. And you pick them up and you upgrade your mech. So like you can in theory like have this gigantic, like you're a regular mech and then you pick up treads and now you're running around like a tank and then you pick up like a laser cannon and now you're running around like Johnny Five laser
Yeah,
cannon.
Johnny Five.
And then you can get like a this claw that you can grab people with and throw. So it gets kind of crazy, but not too bad. All right, that's the entirety of our picks. We got, let's see, we each did 6, so we got 18. 18 total picks for you guys, our 18 predictions. We got with 3 total pie in the sky, so really 15 solid picks. 15 solid predictions in varying degrees of realistically happening or not. Let's go over everybody's picks. Nick, you chose gameplay footage of Halo Infinite, and you went ahead and set a spring 2020 release date. You said an actual like playable demo of Gears 5, and you're saying a 2019 date. New Smash Brothers DLC character announcement with Dante from Devil May Cry. Animal Crossing gameplay, like actual gameplay of that. Because we've had the announcement, but we just haven't seen anything from it. Link's Awakening, the remake for that, like you're saying that'll be shown and very playable and probably released at the end of summer, August. And then your pie in the sky was, again, Tekken Cross Street Fighter, because they promised.
It'll never happen.
You never know. Martin, you said that we'll actually get playable Battletoads.
Yep.
It'll be playable there and ready, and we'll get some sort of release date most likely on that.
Right.
Xbox Next hardware, we'll get a preview of that, and you're saying it's going to be like on store shelves sometime in 2020.
Late 2020, but yeah.
Late 2020, but you're saying that's going to be not heavily featured, but you're going to get a little taste of it. And you even more interestingly said that it would be not unlike them to show you gameplay footage of Infinite running on the new hardware.
And I think they'll show like Perfect Dark running on it.
Oh, you're
That'll
just
be
sneaking
like
in
a
another
launch-
prediction,
that'll
maybe.
Be a launch game for it.
Okay. All right. Perfect Dark. Interesting. You also said that there would be the official announcement of Panzer Dragoon, an HD remake of Panzer Dragoon.
Hopefully we'll see some.
I would
screenshots
love
of
that.
it.
I hadn't heard that rumor circulating, so I'd like to see that. You went ahead and you're naming it Switch Go, the new rumored like cheaper version of the Switch, the more portable version, whatever.
I'm gonna say it's called Switch Me.
Switch Me. So silly. That's cute. I like that.
You.
Switch Boy. And yeah, $199. That seems like a pretty reasonable price, and you know, not including a dock, not including detachable
Just the
Joy-Cons.
basic.
Bit smaller, maybe like I said that maybe small enough to fit in your pocket.
It'll be like the size of what the screen is.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Then you also said the Metroid Prime Trilogy HD remake, which is a carryover from last year. Seems very likely.
I think that'll come out this summer.
Summer?
Yeah.
Pretty
It'll
soon.
be like one of those and next month it'll be available.
That'd be cool.
Kind of a thing.
Because people seem to think that's done. People seem to think that's like basically done.
Think so.
And then your pie in the sky is you'd like to see a new Mario crossover. Possibly. Since he's played so well with Ubisoft.
Yeah.
You're saying maybe Capcom gets a turn this time, and it might have something to do with Mega Man. We don't know what, but Mega Man could be something there.
Anything's possible.
Anything's possible. I would love that.
Even
and
Tetris 99.
Well, for me, my first prediction was Tetris 99 for Xbox. Since, you know, there was that whole Microsoft-Nintendo partnership, I don't think it's going to get as crazy as Game Pass and all that. But since Microsoft was nice to let them have Cuphead, I think that Nintendo's going to throw them a bone. And they'll, you know, their most intriguing exclusive thing is kind of like Tetris 99. At least it was there for a few months.
Right.
So I think we'll see an Xbox port of that available now. And I think we'll see a proper Star Fox sequel, Star Fox 3. Even though there wasn't technically a 2, there was kind of, but not really. It never released. But then it did on the classic.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's technically still Star Fox 2.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they'll call it Star Fox 2. So yeah, I think 3. I think we'll get a Star Fox 3, and it'll be like a, you know, it'll just be like some sort of, you know, trailer, like teaser, like that Metroid Prime, that first time we saw that, where it just showed the logo, basically. We'll probably just get like a logo or something. No. It's far off, 2020.
It'll probably be the ship flying past
or
something.
Something simple like that. But they'll I think they'll have to say something like, it's not that game you thought it was. It's like a proper, it'll be, if you see Star Fox 3, you'll assume it's a proper
There'll just
sequel.
be a 3 on the screen.
Yeah.
Like they did 4.
Star Fox.
Yeah. Barrel roll. So
it'll just have a 3, and you'll hear do a barrel
roll. Yeah, that would be great. I agree, Nick. I think we'll see a Resident Evil 7 port. I didn't really specify a time on that, but I'll just say for Switch. Yeah, you know, I think that'll be end of the year. See something like that at the end of the year. I think Ninja Gaiden's going to be resurrected. There'll be a new series of Ninja Gaiden games. I don't have a date on that, but I think it would be probably 2020. I don't think they would announce like new intentions of a series and then bring it out that same year. I think it would be like next year. And I think that'll be for everything. Well, I said a timed exclusive, I think, earlier.
Yes,
yeah, timed exclusive for Xbox, but then eventually coming out for everything. And then Scalebound officially announced for Switch. So that game, once again, you know, is resurrected from the dead, no longer a Microsoft game. But they'll, you know, and I assume it'll still be platinum, but maybe not. And then for my pie in the sky, the Konami, you know, multiplayer, you know, arcade games, the classics, the Ninja Turtles 2 Turtles in Time, Simpsons, X-Men, Sunset Riders, you know, all the classic Konami multiplayer games. Pie in the sky. Probably not going to happen. All right, guys, those are our all of our predictions. That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
You know, we did have a few carryovers, but not too much. You know, I think we feel like we speculated a bit and kind of hashed some cool stuff out. I do, since you snuck in a Perfect Dark. I do think we're gonna see that Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
Either like the collection, HD collection or whatever they had that came out, or the actual 5, Devil May Cry 5.
Okay.
So I really think that's going to need to happen
I
for
think
them
the
to.
collection would be nice.
A collection would be
Honestly, yeah.
nice. I'd settle for collection.
So you think we'll start seeing more consoles on the Switch, like Super NES games now? And,
I think so. I think they'll maybe announce some Super Nintendo games.
you know,
But I don't think it's gonna be like it is now with the NES. I think you'll have to buy them individually.
Oh, you think?
Yeah.
You don't think they'll like just like
Well,
the Netflix style?
yeah, because I was kind of thinking about that, and you know, I mean, because like they
It's
went
too
all
cheap.
out with the NES. You know, because it's got like its own little home. Like when you go in
Oh, yeah.
that app, and there's all the NES games.
Yeah, well, even the
And-
controllers.
And yeah, and exactly because it's got like all the controllers that you know it's got the specific NES controllers. So then if they were to come out with a Super NES thing, are they going to come out with controllers again, or you know?
Well, I wouldn't put it past Nintendo to do something like
It's
that.
possible.
It just I don't know. It seems weird.
Not a given. And we didn't even really mention the GameCube this time either. So
Yeah.
that's certainly not
I
a
don't
given.
see that
anymore.
happening.
I don't at this point. I don't
they're
either.
Just gonna do like specific.
Not
colors.
unless like the new Switch has like those buttons that like the GameCube had,
Yeah.
the analog, not the Switch.
I feel like we need to start seeing some Super NES games on the Switch before we start seeing GameCube.
Agreed.
Games,
Agreed.
but I want to play Sunshine again though.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
you know,
definitely.
Oh, yeah.
it's got to
That-
come.
That needs to come out.
I see a lot of people pie in the sky in for a new Galaxy game.
Yeah.
But wouldn't they have another? You know, wouldn't they actually have a sequel to Odyssey
Odyssey,
before that
yeah.
would happen? I would imagine.
Yeah, and they could. I think they could totally do those Wii games on the Switch because the Joy-Con can do the. You know, it's got the gyroscope,
Yep.
so you can totally have a port of Mario Galaxy on there. But
Yeah.
Well, and along those lines, it's like, why haven't we seen the back catalog of the other Zelda games? Because the Wii U had like literally every Zelda game released on the Wii U.
mm-hmm.
It's like, why can't we get
Where's Wind
some of
Waker?
the, huh?
Where's Wind Waker?
yeah, can
Or
we get
Skyward
Wind
Sword? Like
Waker,
that was a rumor that
Skyward
was going to
Sword,
happen. We
yeah.
thought.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, because we at least recently got a remake of Wind Waker on the Wii U.
Wii U, yeah.
yeah,
But yeah, Switch isn't really getting any of that love.
no.
Not the Zelda love, anyway.
No.
All right. So one thing that I started doing in the last episode of the Big Geek podcast was I was recommending other podcasts. You know, kind of giving some love to other shows. Is that you? Like I heard like a rustling.
It might have been me. I don't know. I moved.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, I wanted to start, you know, giving some shout outs. And for this episode, the shout out I'd like to give is a YouTube channel. So it's this guy named Michael Mercy. And his channel is just youtube.com/Michael Mercy. I'll have a, you know, it's MichaelMercy. He does toy reviews from our generation, like the 80s especially.
Nice.
So he does reviews, but he does it in a really high production value kind of way. Like his reviews remind me a bit of like the toys that made us.
Oh yeah.
The way that they make
series.
their documentary, like they're not reviewing things, but they're the style. Like there's the kind of they seem to implement a lot of the like it's like cheesy graphics, but it's not like real fancy graphics and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He clearly has a talent for using like After Effects, like Adobe After Effects or something, or Adobe Premiere, whatever the version of it's for video. He does really cool stuff. I highly recommend. There's a lot of videos. I guess he's been doing it for a while, and he has the absolute coolest room. Like Nick's got a really cool, you know, like museums, what we call it. This guy takes it even a step further. So he's in Canada, and his dream was to have kind of like his own Toys R Us, I guess.
Oh wow.
And they still have Toys R Us's, by the way. And on his channel, he'll do regular visits to Toys R Us on his channel.
How do they
So if you're
Toys R Us in Canada?
they just weren't in this financial ruin as they
Really?
were in the U.S.
Huh.
Yeah, there's still Toys R
I thought it
Us
was
other
like
countries.
A global
Mm-mm.
bankruptcy. Okay.
Pretty much just North America, or not North America. Pretty much just the U.S. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, he does regular visits to Toys R Us on his channel, so you can still kind of get that Toys R Us fix if you're just feeling nostalgic for Toys R Us. He recently went in there for the end game. They had giant Lego like Hulk and giant Lego Thanos, like you know you see like just the really impressive sculptures made out of Legos.
Yeah.
So for that reason alone, it's worth checking out. But you know, he did this review. Like some of my favorites were he did a review for Rhino, the truck from Mask.
Oh wow.
So like he talks about the toy and then he recreates it's like he plays with the toys.
What?
He kind of like another one that he did that I thought was cool was the Night Raven for G.I. Joe, which was like that big black airplane.
Yeah.
So he talked about it, but then he green screened like the Raven flying, and then like the Rattler would come up behind him, but then he would have like actual effects from the show, like like the the lasers coming out. It's so cool. Like
Everything
this guy's
you imagined
really
as a
talented.
kid, he's now doing
Yeah,
special
he has the
effects.
capability. He's got all the equipment to make it for real.
Wow.
So, and let's see, he does. He had a really cool one for Omega Supreme, and then he did a recent 9-part series for those the Devastator, but the new Devastator.
The Combiner Wars.
Yeah, the Combiner Wars Devastator. So he did a whole 9-part series on that. So I mean, like Michael Mercy, like you just Google Michael Mercy, like the guy has tons and tons and tons of content.
Yeah,
And
I'll check that out.
it always amazes me when you come across these channels on YouTube, but they've clearly been doing it for years and years. You just never hear about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
So much content out
Oh
there.
my God, there is so much content out there. And this guy deserves everybody's he's got I think like several thousand subscribers, but it should be a lot bigger. Whatever it is now, it should be a lot bigger. So check out Michael Mercy's YouTube page. And he seems like a really nice guy too. Like I love, like he has a real soothing voice, you know? So like he just seems like a really nice guy. So that's my only recommendation. I don't have like 2 like I did last time. Also, I'd like to, recommend that people check us out. Either like we have YouTube, obviously. We're on YouTube at youtube.com/BitGeek. You can also find us on all the different podcast services out there if you're just an audio-only listener. And, our shows tend to go 2 hours plus pretty regularly. So I understand if you can't sit and watch us on YouTube. If you're at work, throw on some headphones, download the episode, and listen to us. I do a lot of that myself. Also, if you don't mind, leave us a review, whether it be on iTunes or, just share videos, spread the word on us. We've been around this is going on our 3rd year, but we're still relatively small. I feel like we have a pretty good channel ourselves. We're up there with Michael Mercy. We're Michael Mercy quality.
There you go.
Hey, not to make this thing any longer than it already is, but you want to try to turn that on?
Oh, yeah. Hang on, guys. So yeah, it's lit up now, it looks like. Try and
Boot it up.
hold in the power. There's my little red buttons that I was so in love with. New Wave Toys.
Okay, yeah. So you got a
Nice.
splash screen on there.
There's the marquee that lights up. You really see that a little bit? Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can see it.
Yeah.
Replica logo.
Yeah. Atari. And they got full licensing. Like they're able to use the full ROMs from
That's
the games.
amazing.
It really is cool. I'm not gonna. Well, I
Get
could
your
probably.
coins in.
Oh, and there it goes.
It's hard to play like this, but listen to the sounds. Oh, I probably wasn't even playing. I was like a little kid who thought he was playing.
There's a volume dial.
Am I not
All right,
going here?
you're in the track mode. So, is this? Yeah. So that puts in credits.
Oh, okay.
Okay, there you go.
Very nice. There we go. Those colorful mushrooms. Ah, that damn spider. I hate that guy. Yeah, one of my things I liked about this game was how colorful the game is, because like you progress through the levels, the mushrooms get like they go purple and all kinds of different colors. Oh, there we go. See, there's purple. So just like your old arcades, you move to a new level, you get different colors. So look at that, man. That is just like the real thing, but better, because it's small and it can fit on your shelf.
Nice.
All right. Is that as high as? Oh wow, it gets really loud.
It's pretty
Oh,
good.
does it not? Oh, okay, the other way. There.
Well, thanks for tuning in. I've been your host, Ron Avis.
I'm Nick Wright.
Martin Reimer.
We'll see how right we were when we come back next time. We'll review our predictions. Martin probably won't be with us, or maybe he will. We'll hold the feet to the fire for him if he's not here. Thanks for joining us.
See ya.